The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The New York Jets preseason opener against the Green Bay Packers is officially in the books, and there are a lot of key takeaways. Whose stock is up, whose stock is down, as the Jets enter a week that features 2 joint practices against the Giants and a preseason game against the crosstown rivals. We'll talk about that and much more, all coming up here on a Tuesday edition of the Jake Asman Show, baby. Let's go!
Man, AG's first training camp with the New York Jets is underway. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quentin Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
What is going on, New York Jet fans? Hello, everyone, and welcome back here into another edition of the Jake Asman Show. Coming to you guys live right here on this Tuesday morning, August 12th, 2025. Connor Long getting things started here with you guys on the show. Jake joining us shortly. Shout out to Jake. He's big time now. He's on ESPN Radio, co-hosting Morning Drive with the great Dave Rothenberg. So I'll be getting things started for you guys here on the show these next 2 days. Thank you all for tuning in. Smash the like button. Hit subscribe on your way into the building. Completely free, and it helps the channel grow significantly here on the show. You see it there, big on your screen. As Maniac Watch Party is less than 1 week away at T-Squared Social, a walk away from Grand Central. An $18 ticket get you a Friday beer, 1 free shot, and a raffle ticket. And they're raffling off so many great items that include a Breece Hall signed jersey that will come in a frame, 2 tickets to Jets vs. Panthers, the Asmaniac group buy this season, a Wayne Corbett signed jersey, an AG signed jersey. Make sure you get your ticket, just $18 at T-Squared Social. You want to enjoy a Saturday's preseason game with some fellow Jet fans, have a great time. Make sure you are there at T-Squared Social. Appreciate all your support as always. Make sure you get in to the membership raffle. A portion of the membership raffle gets donated to the Connor Juice Box Fund, so make sure you get in on that. A Darrelle Revis signed jersey, a Nick Mangold signed jersey, a Wayne Corbett signed helmet. The prizes in this week's raffle, so make sure you get in on the raffle, folks. Get all your memberships in, get all your super chats in. They go a long way. They help us grow here on the show. And of course, thank you to our presenting sponsors, FanDuel Sportsbook. The NFL preseason is officially underway here, folks. And you could bet on the Jets preseason game against the Giants. You could bet on any NFL preseason game with our presenting sponsors over at FanDuel Sportsbook. So definitely support FanDuel. Use FanDuel Sportsbook as it is the official presenting sponsor, the official sportsbook for this season right here on the Jake Asman Show. Thank you so much for all your support. Make sure you throw all your questions, comments, thoughts in the chat. Load up your calls on the Gustbuster hotline. That link is pinned at the top of the chat. Again, appreciate your support as always. Connor Long getting things started here on the show. I want to start with still Saturday's game because that's still what we're talking about. We got joint practices underway for the Jets officially. The Jets host the Giants for a joint practice today. Then the Jets travel to the Quest Diagnostics Training Center tomorrow and face off in another joint practice against the Giants. But when you look at a game like Saturday, the first preseason game for the New York Jets, a 30-10 road victory over the Green Bay Packers, certainly a lot of positives to get into, some negatives, but overall, a lot of key takeaways. And I want to give you some players who I think elevated their stock, some players whose stock dropped significantly on Saturday's game. And it was a positive win. It was a 30-10 win. So I want to start on the positive side. Justin Fields' stock couldn't have gone more through the roof after Saturday. There wasn't a single player on this team who helped his stock more Saturday than Fields. He only went one possession, but it was a very positive possession at that. 3 of 4 passing for 42 yards through the air. He added 14 yards on the ground, including a 13-yard rushing touchdown on the 10th play of the drive that found Gang Green the end zone, gave them their first points of the day. So that is that's the bottom line. Justin Fields was the headline on Saturday's game. He was the one who stuck out. Obviously, we heard that Aaron Glenn was going to be playing starters earlier in the week. There were questions regarding how long we would see starters. On the offensive side of the ball, it was just one possession because that one possession resulted in a touchdown on a 10-play drive. So shout out to Justin Fields. He was able to facilitate the offense, bring it all the way down the field. He connected with Andrew Beck on some big plays. He connected with Tyler Johnson on a nice play as well. But most importantly, we saw him use his legs. We saw him get into the end zone for 13 yards on a rushing touchdown. His accuracy was on point. He just looked comfortable. He looked confident in the pocket. So stock up for quarterback Justin Fields. And I don't think there was one more player, like I said on Saturday, who could have helped his stock more than Justin Fields after his standout performance and the way he was able to impact this team. Another quarterback who upped his stock significantly was Adrian Martinez. You look at undrafted free agent Brady Cook, who's been competing with Martinez this summer. He's been gaining steam, Cook, these past few weeks in training camp. He entered Saturday's game as the team's second quarterback, talking about Brady Cook here, after Justin Fields, one spot ahead of Martinez, who Martinez has more NFL experience. Martinez was with this team in the preseason last year. Martinez has been on an NFL roster, has more NFL game experience than Brady Cook, but Brady Cook gets the nod over Martinez for the QB2 job. And let's be real, Adrian Martinez needed a big game to really stay tight-knitted in this QB3 race, and he did just that. Well, Brady Cook, the stat line didn't show it. Well, Brady Cook had an okay game overall. You saw his ability with his legs. You saw that he's able to hit receivers in stride. You saw that he's able to look confident and poised in the pocket. The thing is, he just has to do that consistently. So while he did show flashes overall, Martinez was the clear winner of this job on Saturday, finished 11 of 16 passing-wise, 152 yards, and a passing touchdown. That touchdown, you look for touchdowns all the time in the preseason because touchdowns are what makes money with sports betting using FanDuel Sportsbook, and touchdowns are the big plays that everyone looks for. And the Jets' 2 touchdowns came by way of both Justin Fields and Adrian Martinez. Adrian Martinez threw that touchdown pass to Stone Smart, whose stock was also up because he had the touchdown reception. He looked confident. When he got the ball in his hands, he made big plays out of it. He only had the ball in his hands once, didn't have too many drops, wasn't a liability. The tight end room is certainly such an interesting position here as we approach towards cutdown day, because you have Mason Taylor, who you used a premium draft asset on, the 42nd overall pick in this year's draft. But after that, you have Stone Smart, who we just spoke about, had a positive performance on Saturday. But what has he truly shown throughout his NFL career? Absolutely nothing. This team lacks established talent at the tight end position. They need someone to stand up and make an impact. Could that be Stone Smart with a big year? Sure, it can. Could it be Jeremy Ruckert if he finally gets over that hump in his 4th NFL season? Absolutely. It can be anyone in this position room who is able to stick up, stand up, and make an impact behind Mason Taylor. I think that's going to be the blueprint towards finding offensive success. And Jeremy Ruckert is someone who I thought had an awful performance on Saturday. You guys know here I am not a big Jeremy Ruckert fan by any measure whatsoever. I'm going to pull up my 53-man roster prediction post-Packers game that launched on JetsXFactor.com yesterday, so check it out there if you want the full roster prediction. I had Jeremy Ruckert making the roster, and I say it right there. He's not ideal. It's not ideal to have Ruckert as your second tight end, but the Jets don't have any alternatives. The Jets don't have any pivot options. You could say Andrew Beck. I have Andrew Beck on my roster. I'm an Andrew Beck fan. I thought his performance on Saturday was one of the best among any Jet we saw suit up. One of the highest PFF grades among any offensive player, just trailing Jamar Chase from week 1 of the season. So I was really, really pleased with what I saw out of Andrew Beck. Love his versatility in the backfield, being that hybrid H-back for you who could also line up in line. He could line up in the slot for you as a pass catcher, as a receiving threat. So I really, really like Andrew Beck. I think the Jets view him as a fullback, and I think the Jets view Stone Smart as truly a big wide receiver. You guys don't know how bad I wanted the Jets. I wanted to just put Mason Taylor and Stone Smart here for the tight ends, and then put Andrew Beck as our fullback, and then write in why I think the Jets don't need to carry Jeremy Ruckert, because there's a surplus of reasons here, folks, and say that, Andrew Beck can help replace him. I wanted to do it so bad, but then I realized I can't see the Jets going into the year with 2 tight ends, one of which in Stone Smart, who they pretty much just view as a big wide receiver. So it's not ideal to have him as the second tight end on this team, talking about Jeremy Ruckert here on the show. But if he doesn't put up numbers this year, if he's not able to adapt to the NFL and acclimate, he's going to have his college quarterback to attempt to do such a thing. If he doesn't put up numbers this year, if he doesn't improve his blocking technique, he's gone. He's on the final year of his rookie contract. It's put up or shut up time for Jeremy Ruckert, and he has to show exactly this year why he is worthy of a roster spot with the Jets or any other NFL team, because this is the final year of his rookie contract. He's done nothing throughout his 3 years in the league other than be a liability in the blocking game, struggled to hold on to passes, and not be an elite pass catcher, not be an elite separator. So I'm not a Jeremy Ruckert fan. All of you guys know that, but this put up or shut up time for him, and he has to show right now this season why he thinks he's an NFL caliber tight end, because this is his final opportunity to do such a thing on the final year of his rookie deal. So those are my offensive players today. Stock up, stock down. What I saw on Saturday, whose stock rose and their chances of making the 53-man roster, making an impact on this team's seasons, and whose stock fell. Let's move over to the defensive side of the ball. A lot of interesting takeaways from the defensive side of the ball. The run defense as a whole was a lot better than I expected, and I think that stems from schematics. The Jets have been using their edge rushers differently. The Jets have been using their rotations differently. I was really pleased with the way that Steve Wilks was able to manage this personnel on Saturday, play to their strong suits, play to their ability, so it didn't look like anyone was a turnstile in the run blocking game. And someone who certainly wasn't a turnstile, someone who upped his stock in a significant way, was free agent addition Jay Tufele. Remember the name, folks. Jay Tufele signed with the Jets, was a Cincinnati Bengal last year, was a 4th-round pick from out of USC by the Jacksonville Jaguars just a few years ago. Jay Tufele, a sack and a half, constantly in the backfield making plays, dove onto a Leonard Taylor strip sack that gave him a touchdown on the score sheet as well. So Jay Tufele had a huge name, and he upped his stock the most out of anyone on the interior, the defensive line. He's making a realistic push to be the guy lining up next to Quinnen Williams on the interior of the line come week 1 of the 2025 NFL season, where the Jets face off against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's looked the part in practice, and he certainly looked the part on Saturday. So Jay Tufele can be the guy that we see lining up next to Quinnen Williams. It could be Jay Tufele. It could be Peyton Page. I don't see Leonard Taylor III just because of the similarity of Leonard Taylor III's skill sets along with Williams, but you can certainly see anyone in this role, and Tufele made the most promising case yet on Saturday, in my opinion, as to why he deserves to be the defensive tackle too, next to Quinnen Williams. So I'll put Tufele there, certainly stock up, and I think he upped his stock the most that anyone on the defense. Will go position by position here on the defensive side of the ball. In the linebacker room, I'd probably have to say Jamin Davis when it comes to stock up, who up their stock the most. I mean, Marcelino McCrary-Ball, who clearly was a stock down. We saw the personal foul that he had laying the late hit on Luke Musgrave, multiple undisciplined penalties that Aaron Glenn wasn't having much of. Aaron Glenn pulled him off the field the second after that penalty was committed. It warranted a scolding from Glenn, and McCrary-Ball was viewed as the favorite to win this linebacker 3 job entering Saturday, and those odds certainly took a steep hit after Ball committed undisciplined penalties. He wasn't great in coverage, didn't make any flashy plays on special teams. So it's clearly a stock down for Marcelino McCrary-Ball, and someone who stood up, like I said, made an impact in Ball's spot was former 1st-round pick Jamin Davis. He was the 3rd highest graded player on the Jets defense. He had a sack, he had a run stuff. He even appeared shortly with the 1st-team defense. So we saw Jamin Davis getting 1st-team defensive reps. He has the pedigree of a former 1st-round pick. Everyone was a 1st-round pick for a reason. We saw it last year. Takk McKinley, who came in, made a huge impact for this team during the preseason, ultimately made the roster, didn't do much for you in the regular season, but he cracked the roster spot after a huge preseason. We see why these guys have 1st-round picks. A guy like Jamin Davis has a 1st-round pedigree. I wrote it in my linebacker section of my 53-man roster prediction. I think it's wise for the Jets to take a gamble on the first-round pedigree of a player like Jamin Davis over trying to get the most you can out of Marcelino McCrary-Ball, who's pretty much just a special teams contributor, struggles in coverage. We saw that firsthand Saturday. Another linebacker who I think upped his stock significantly, and I don't want to go too deep here, I just want to touch on him briefly, is Miami UDFA Jamarcus Weston, flying around the field with the second-team defense, laying aggressive hits, making big plays all over the field, and then we saw him even provide some gunner value for you on special teams. He was getting down the field quickly, pressuring former Jet McCole Hardman on the punt return. And on a side note, I mean, what a poor revenge game from McCole Hardman against the Green Bay Packers. Muffling a punt, not being able to create anything. Jamarcus Weston, Quantez Stiggers sitting right in his face, waiting to, jar a ball free. So not a great revenge game for McCole Hardman, who obviously ended his Jets tenure in a very, very sour tone. I mentioned his name right there, folks. Quantez Stiggers. Certainly a stock-up game for him. Great tackler. He was flying across the field, similar to Weston, making plays. He's going to make a push to be the starting gunner on this team with Chris Boyd dealing with the shoulder injury. We still don't know the severity of the injury, what that timetable looks like for a return for Boyd. Quantez Stiggers is going to get an opportunity to step up here, and he showed exactly why on Saturday as to the fact that he's deserving to be the starting gunner on this team. He is worthy of that final cornerback roster spot to be the cornerback 5, to be the cornerback 6. So certainly stock up for Quantez Stiggers. Stock up as well for Ryan Cooper. Bump Cooper, baby. Signed with the team 2 weeks ago after they released punter Austin McNamara, and he was another guy. He had some missed tackles, but overall, shadowing receivers well, staying stingy, staying tight in coverage. He laid multiple big hits earlier in the week in practice. He laid several big hits on Saturday. So it's always great to see those key aspects of a player's game carry onto the field, especially when we're talking about training camp versus preseason here. So big game from Bump Cooper. He's certainly a stock-up performance. So a lot of positives. There were certainly some negatives for this team overall on Saturday, but the bottom line is there's still 2 preseason games left, folks. There's a game on Saturday against the New York Giants where the Asmaniac Watch Party will take place, of course, at T-Squared Social, and then 2 weeks away against the Philadelphia Eagles. So 2 preseason games left. I think the second preseason game for every NFL team is typically the most important. So it's going to be intriguing to see the way the Jets balance the rotation, first team, second team, third team on Saturday against the Giants. We'll certainly get a glimmer of that these next few days as the teams have 2 joint practices, a home and home for the joint practice. The Jets hosting the Giants today for a joint practice and then traveling to the Quest Diagnostics Training Center right alongside MetLife Stadium tomorrow for a joint practice. So I like that the Jets do joint practices. They did one with the Panthers last year. They did one with the Giants last year. They did one with the Commanders. This year, it's just 2. Both are with the Giants, a home and home. So these joint practices are certainly fun, and one of them is occurring as we speak right now. Malik Neighbors out for the Giants today. I know a lot of fans were looking forward, especially those who were attending the joint practice, to seeing Malik Neighbors versus Sauce Gardner in full effect. So unfortunately, we're not seeing that today at the joint practice, potentially tomorrow or potentially Saturday, but we will have to hold off on that for now. Thank you all for tuning in right here on the Jake Asman Show. Connor Long getting things started here for Jake. Jake should be joining us shortly, I'd assume, as he is commuting back home from the radio station, hosting Morning Drive these next 2 days on ESPN 98.7. Dave Rothenberg is Jake's co-host partner. So shout out to Jake, making big moves on ESPN, co-hosting Morning Drive, being the superstar we all know he is. So shout out to Jake. Jake, again, thank you so much for the opportunity. I always love to come on here, get things started for you, fill in for you on the show. So I appreciate your support as always, Jake. And thank you so much for this opportunity. Questions, comments, thoughts, throw all of those in the chat. You guys can call into the show with the pinned comment. We're going to get to your calls in a little bit, but don't forget about our membership raffle, baby. Every gifted membership gives you an opportunity to win a Darrelle Revis signed jersey, a Nick Mangold signed jersey, and a Wayne Corbett signed helmet. So make sure you get in on that. And baby, Justin Spencer has become a member here on the show, along with Phantom Green and White, gifting a membership, baby. So shout out to you guys, and we appreciate the support right here on the show.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, man.
Justin Spencer, shout out to you, my friend. Phantom Green and White, shout out to you. Appreciate the memberships. here on the show. Thank you so much. As always, again, throw all your questions, comments, thoughts in the chat. Load them up. We're going to get to those. Load up your calls on the Gusbuster hotline with the pin linked at the top of the chat. Before we get over to your calls, shout out to today's sponsor right here on the show, and that is ZipRecruiter, baby. Hiring the right person can feel impossible. You get flooded with resumes, but finding someone who actually has the skills and the experience that you need, that's the real challenge. However, that's not what ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter finds amazing candidates for you in a very, very fast manner. And right now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/audio. The second you post a job, ZipRecruiter's smart technology starts matching it with qualified people immediately. So you're not wasting time sifting through bad resumes, bad fits. And when you spot a great candidate, you can reach out right away using their pre-written invite to apply message, making it quick and personal so they can apply faster. Ditch the other hiring sites and let ZipRecruiter find what you're looking for, the needle in the haystack, baby. 4 out of 5 employees who post on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate within the first day. Try it for free at this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/audio. Again, that's ziprecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Make sure you all use ZipRecruiter. Appreciate all your support right here on the Jake Asman Show. Connor Long getting things started for Jake Asman right here on the show. Again, questions, comments, thoughts, throw all of those in the chat. Call into the show with the pinned comment. We appreciate your support as always right here on the show. Let's go over to the phone lines, and getting us started right here on the show is none other than the great
I'm along, feeling strong. How you doing?
Kyle. I am living the dream, my friend. How are you?
I'm awesome. So, I think some of the guys that you maybe didn't feature as much as stock down, Chooks Okorafor,
Yeah, Max Mitchell.
Max Mitchell. I think that you'd have to say with the injury, Lazard stock down, right? Like if you really thought like I did that Lazard was on the bubble no matter what, the injury doesn't help him. I kind of think we knew what the problems were with the roster under the previous regime, the people who kept on making key mistakes, and it was Lazard and it was Clemens and it was some of the people that, we hoped we're going to get back to, their original status on the as a reserve offensive lineman like Max Mitchell. I kind of feel like this is the opportunity to kind of pull the bottom of the roster and use some of these guys that you've been trying to develop in the background, whether it's Cole Leveo, whether it's Zach Kuntz. And I don't know that necessarily it's a roster spot, but it definitely remaining on the practice squad or whatever. However we see fit. I want to see these guys get a chance to play, whether it's Donovan Edwards, whether it's Carter Warren is probably going to make the team. I mentioned Leveo. I think that there is an opportunity to kind of cull out the people that we don't think have been performing, and then around cut down day, add a player or two that might be able to be rotational contributor type guys that are still young. That's the kind of benefit of having an uneven roster, right? We know where our strengths are. The strengths are at our starter offensive line. We think our strengths are in the cornerback room. We think our strengths are in the running back room. So if we see, a wide receiver come available, or a defensive lineman become available, or a spare offensive lineman become available, we should be adding these guys and plugging them in and giving them an opportunity to show that they can be part of the 53. That's kind of how I feel about it.
And you mentioned Alan Lazard there, Kyle. That's someone who's so intriguing. I'll pull up the section of my wide receiver section of my 53-man roster here. As you can see, I do not have Lazard making the cut. I have Garrett Wilson, Josh Reynolds, Tyler Johnson, Arian Smith, along with Quentin Skinner and Jamal Pritchett closing out that list. I know 2D UDFAs is going to sound a little intriguing, a little odd, but if you think about it, Quentin Skinner is able to replace Lazard's role as that lanky downfield threat, a big-bodied guy, 6'5", 195 pounds, averaged over 20 yards a catch last year at Kansas, and then Pritchett is able to replace the role of Xavier Gibson, returning punts, returning kicks, and then gives you more upside on offense compared to Gibson. Better route runner, better hands. Don't have Corley here. I have Pritchett filling that gadget role as well. So I don't have Lazard on my 53. You could save money by moving on from him. The shoulder injury certainly puts him in a odd spot when you have all these receivers competing it out for a job here, especially it gives a UDFA like Quentin Skinner, like I said, similar skill set, gives him an opportunity to compete while he's sidelined dealing with this shoulder injury.
And especially with the offense we think we're going to be running, how many wide receivers do we think we're actually going to be carrying, right? I wouldn't be shocked if they only carried 5
5
and
or
maybe
6.
kept, yeah, and then kept, 2 on the practice squad. Maybe Skinner and Brandon Smith make the practice squad, and you roll with, Garrett, Reynolds, Arian Smith, Pritchett, and Tyler Johnson. Like that. Maybe those are your guys. If someone doesn't shake loose from another roster, and that's all I had. Connor, you're doing a great job. I'll talk to you later, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifton. Kyle, great call as always. Appreciate the call. Appreciate your support right here on the Jake Asman Show. Shout out to all you guys tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe. It is completely free, and it helps the channel grow significantly. Connor Long getting things started here for Jake Asman right here on the Jake Asman Show. Jake should be joining us shortly. He's commuting back from the radio station after hosting Morning Drive with Dave Rothenberg on ESPN. I just got an email from Jake. He says, we'll join in progress around 11 a.m. So Jake said he will be joining us around 11 a.m. So stay tuned. About 30 minutes, Jake will be joining us here on the show. Again, questions, comments, thoughts, throw all of those in the chat. Call into the show using the Gusbuster hotline, the link pinned at the top of the chat. Connor Long getting things started here for Jake Asman. You can follow me on Twitter at Connor_Long15. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, NY Flight Jets Talk. We're chasing 2,000 subs, so please, please, please subscribe there. Subscribe here. Subscribe to all the Jet content creators, all doing great content here with the season just about to get underway. Less than a month away from week 1 of the NFL season, baby. So super excited for that, and super excited to be talking about the New York Jets every single day, especially right here on the Jake Asman Show, baby. JB Allen, the Annihilator, says, can the Texans get Breece Hall for John Mechie, wide receiver, and a 3rd-round pick? I think if you were to trade Breece Hall right now, JB Allen, his stock is so low, you could probably... You're probably talking about a 5th or 6th round pick when it comes to trying to trade Breece Hall right now, what his current value sits at after what we saw from him last year, his inability to hold on to the ball, his significant decline in yards per carry, him not being able to get involved in the receiving game. I don't think you're getting a 3rd round pick under any circumstance for Breece Hall. He has no trade value, let alone attaching a wide receiver like John Mechie, who was a higher draft pick just a few years ago. So I think right now it's best to just hold on to Breece Hall, because I'd rather take a gamble on the upside out of Breece Hall, his potential, a la what we saw in 2023, compared to saying, you know what, let's just give up on him now, ship him off, and get a 5th or 6th round pick. I think the gamble on the upside of Hall is worth more than a 5th or 6th round pick. But I appreciate the comment, JB. I just don't see it being feasible. I don't see any team willing to give up a 3rd round pick for Breece Hall. It's just performance recently, the fact that he only has 1 year left on his deal as well. You have to franchise tag him or give him a new deal at the end of this season. The contract and the on-field performance is the major concern here, and that's why I don't think you get anything more than maybe a 5th, potentially a conditional 4th round pick. But I appreciate the comment, JB. DNAT says, what's the FanDuel odds for over-under on the number of beard hairs Connor has on his chin? No beard hairs yet. I've had to clean up the stash about once every 2 weeks, but no beard hairs yet. I'd set the over-under maybe in a couple months at 4.5. We can set it there and then reevaluate when I potentially fill back in a few months here on the show. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate the question. D-Ned, appreciate your support. Larry Romano says, Connor, what's your report card? Coaching, offense, defense, special teams. Great question here, Larry. Coaching, coaching, I would give overall a B. The penalties were an issue, but Aaron Glenn has made it clear there's a mandate here. He handled the penalty issues well. He reprimanded each and every single player who committed a boneheaded penalty. He handled the issues correctly, and we know these issues are going to get resolved with a guy like Aaron Glenn as the head coach of your football team. So the penalty issues don't drive me as crazy, just knowing that there's a disciplinarian in the room. There's someone who's going to do everything he can over these next few weeks to iron everything out, get rid of these penalty issues before we're in real game action September 7th against the Pittsburgh Steelers, week 1 at MetLife Stadium. So I'd give the coaching overall a B. I thought the defensive play calling was great. I thought the offensive play calling was great as well. I really, really, really liked what I saw out of Tanner Engstrand calling plays, the way he was kind of able to simplify everything in a preseason setting for Justin Fields, so he wasn't running around with his head cut off. He wasn't making any boneheaded mistakes, and everything was simple for him. Simplified reads. It made him look confident in the preseason. It was a pretty vanilla offense. So I was super, super pleased with the play calling from Tanner Engstrand. Defensively, I think we saw the run defense, like I mentioned at the top of the show, improve significantly compared to what we thought it would ultimately be. I think we saw a steep improvement too. Fele stuck out. We saw Leonard Taylor III with that strip sack as well. So a lot of positives on the defensive side of the ball. The secondary was running around making plays. I'd give the defense a B+. There were some penalties that you can improve, some defensive issues in the linebacker room that I think you can improve. The linebackers, I don't think were playing to their full potential. I'd give it around a B+, though. Overall solid performance. They were creating havoc on the interior of the line. They were creating havoc up front. So I will give the defense a B+. On special teams, I give them an A+. Absolutely. Austin McNamara threw all of his punts inside the 20. Incredible hang time. I think he had over around 4.5 seconds of hang time on all 4 of his punts combined. Great game out of him. Multiple punts inside the 10, forced McCole Hardman to muffle it, and then the Jets fell on it inside the 10-yard line and regained possession. The Gunners were flying across the field making plays, didn't miss a kick, so I give an A+ to the special team. Shout out to Chris Banjo. He's done a great job with that group. I don't think that's a group a lot of people have talked about, just being able to cover a handful of these training camp practices, being there in person. I've really liked the way Chris Banjo has kind of been able to work with this group, command the group, especially as a younger coach. And I think there are benefits to having a coach like Banjo, who was 35 years old and was playing NFL football just a few years ago. So there's certainly benefits to that, and I think that showed on Saturday. Great performance from the special team, and a great question there from you, Larry Romano. I appreciate your support here on the show. Felix Campos, baby, skips the line with a $5 super chat. Shout out to you, Felix. I appreciate the super chat, my friend. Says, what's up, Connor? You're doing an excellent job in place of Jake. You have a very promising career. Felix, you are the best, my friend. I appreciate that. I appreciate your kind words here on the show, and thank you for tuning in right here on the Jake Asman Show. Again, for those who are wondering, folks, Jake should be joining us around 11 o'clock, so a little under a half an hour until Jake joins us here on the show. In the meantime, guys, like I said, keep all the questions, comments, thoughts flowing in the chat. We're going to get to those. You guys can load up your calls on the Gusbuster hotline with the link pinned at the top of the chat. Connor Long getting things started here for Jake Asman right here on the Jake Asman Show. Appreciate all your support as always. Let's go back to the phone lines and we will head up to the layup.
Right now, we're getting some gabagool. If you really want some gabagool, you got to come get the gabagool. Catch you later.
Beast.
Buenos días, Connor. ¿Cómo está, amigo?
Bien. ¿Usted?
Que más o menos se puede aquí. I was just doing some reading on the CBS News stuff, and I'm like, are you liking the Mets this year winning the title this year? You looking at that for opportunity?
Hey, you gotta hope. This is a streaky team. They've at least got a couple. Trying to string together a couple wins, but you got to turn it on because September baseball's around the corner. Beast, you got any Jet points?
Well, that Jet Packer game, when I saw that sack in the end zone, I was like, Now you got a team that's hungry for blood. It's like, did you ever watch the movie Jaws? The first Jaws?
I've not, unfortunately. I know that's good.
Oh, that's what our team looked like. Our team looked like Jaws, ready to eat another person's ass alive. And we're going to do it again come Saturday when the Giants get in our house. We're going to give them.
Thank you for the call, Beast. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate your support as always right here on the Jake Asman Show. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you all for tuning in right here on the show. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Connor Long in for Jake Asman right here with you guys on the Jake Asman Show, baby. JP says, I have zero faith in Adrian Martinez as he's a Nebraska quarterback. They don't translate to the NFL well. People look at Adrian Martinez's preseason performance over the past years, and there are people like, put Adrian Martinez in, see if he could start a game. It can't be that bad with him. There were people at the end of the year last year who wanted to see Adrian Martinez start. Adrian Martinez is a preseason practice squad quarterback. He's not an NFL caliber quarterback. He's not an NFL starting caliber quarterback, certainly. He's a practice squad preseason arm. That's what he is, and he's nothing more. Could he be a solid backup arm for you? Can he be a second stringer potentially if Tyrod Taylor goes down? Sure. But when you start putting him into an NFL game, that's where you get him out of his comfort zone because he is not a regular season quarterback by any measure. He's a preseason practice squad arm. That is exactly what he is. Rick Kent, baby, drops in with a $5 super chat. Says, Jake who? Great Jake Asman, Rick. Thank you for so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for tuning in right here on the Jake Asman Show as I get things started here for Jake. Appreciate the support as always, Rick, and I appreciate the kind words here on the show from you, my friend. JB says, thank you for reading my comment, Connor. Of course, JB. Says, how has Membu looked at right tackle? And do you believe the left tackle and right tackle positions are solidified moving forward? Those who didn't rewatch the All-22, lucky enough, I have NFL Plus Premium, I think is the name of the package. Lucky enough, I have that, so I'm able to go back and rewatch the All-22 film on the preseason games as well. And God, Armand Membu looked like a bookend right tackle against the Green Bay Packers. You couldn't have asked for anything more from him out of Kenny Clark. His first NFL rep was against former first-round pick Lucas Van Ness, selected the same year as Jet selected Will McDonald. And Membu held his own, literally just dominated him completely away from the play. Didn't even let him get within a century of Justin Fields. So Armand Membu had a really, really stout performance. Stood tall against Kenny Clark, kept his footing, anchored down, didn't let him get to the quarterback. Kenny Clark, 3-time Pro Bowler. I see that from Dixon in the chat. It was a great, great game for Armand Membu, and he looked the part as the bookend right tackle for this team on Saturday. So I appreciate the super chat, JB, and I appreciate the kind words. Again, questions, comments, thoughts, keep them flowing in the chat. Empty phone lines right now if anyone wants to call into the show with the pinned comment, Gusbuster hotline, pinned at the top of the chat. So get in on the phone lines. If you join, we will go to you immediately. Appreciate your support as always. Connor Long getting things started here for Jake Asman on the Jake Asman Show. KC Smooths has got to keep Martinez. Tyrod is great, but he's very injury prone. You can keep Adrian Martinez or Brady Cook on the practice squad without having them count against the 53-man roster and still having their rights. No one's going to poach Adrian Martinez from you. No one is going to poach Brady Cook from you. So I think that's the beauty here. You're able to stash one of those guys on the practice squad, or even both you can. If you don't want to use all 16 of your practice squad spots, and there are not 16 guys on this team who you think are worthy of a practice squad spot, you could keep both those quarterbacks on your practice squad. So they'll keep one of Martinez or Cook, in my opinion, for sure. And I think it's on the practice squad, which is perfectly fine. So yes, each team needs a third quarterback. It doesn't have to be on the active roster, but definitely on the practice squad for sure. So they'll keep one of Martinez for Cook, absolutely. DNAT says, Connor, has anyone won that linebacker 3 spot on defense inside track? That linebacker 3 job is wide open currently. Wide open, to say the very least. Marcelino McCrary-Ball, like I touched on earlier, looked like the clear-cut favorite to earn that role ahead of the preseason. Then he went up against the Packers and committed boneheaded penalties, wasn't great in coverage, missed tackles, didn't stick out on special teams. Right now, I think Jamin Davis is the favorite after Saturday's game. That's what I think. He has the pedigree of a first-round pick. He was great in coverage, graded out high as a tackler, gives you special teams upside as well. Still on the younger side. Jamin Davis right now I view as that front runner. But you also have a guy like Francisco Mauigoa, who you drafted in the 5th round of the NFL draft. You also have a guy, there's so many different linebackers here. You have Jackson Sermon, that was the guy I'm talking about, a UDFA from last year who balled out last season and is, looking for another opportunity at that position. You have another UDFA in Jamarcus Weston, who I have making the team. I don't know if he could be the linebacker 3, but these are all guys who are competing for that job. I view Jamin Davis right now as the favorite, but that job is still wide open right now, and there is no clear-cut winner of that position battle as we speak. Calzone Moto says Lazard isn't going anywhere. He has little trade value, and he's one of the few vets on the team. Breece Hall's definitely on the bubble, unfortunately. He has value, and his position is deep. Hope we keep him. It's not about trade value for Lazard. The Jets can cut Allen Lazard and save money. So it's not about the trade value per se with him. It's about you can cut him and save money and open up a roster spot for an explosive UDFA who is potentially more worthy of a spot than him. Breece Hall, I don't think is going anywhere, at least right now. Come the trade deadline, if this team's multiple games under 500, Breece Hall's not at his best. Breece Hall's playing like 2024 Breece Hall. Then it's a completely different conversation, but the Jets aren't trading Breece Hall at this point where he has no value ahead of the season. And I know it's easy to get excited about Braylon Allen. It's easy to get excited about Isaiah Davis and even Donovan Edwards, who had a great preseason game on Saturday. But no one in that group is near the pedigree of Breece Hall. Both Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis did not show running back 1 material last year in the regular season, although I'm huge fans of them. It's great to see them stick out in the preseason, but again, preseason, folks, preseason. That's the word that we all have to come back to when we get excited about this team, and we talk about them every single day. So Breece Hall, folks, is still the clear-cut running back 1 on this team. Isaiah Davis isn't replacing him. Braylon Allen isn't replacing him, at least for the time being right now. Breece Hall is the running back 1, on this football team. And Allen Lazard is pretty high on the depth chart right now, or he was at least entering Saturday's game. This injury puts him at a huge disservice, especially when you look at multiple UDFAs balling out and making an impact all over the field. So, Lazard is certainly on the bubble. Breece, not right now, because he's not going anywhere ahead of the season when his value is this low. He's still entering the final year of his deal. Let's not forget about 2023 with Breece Hall. And at draft time, I was someone who would have been okay shipping Breece Hall off if you could get a 3rd-round pick for him. I don't think he could have gotten a 3rd-round pick for Breece Hall. He's coming off a down year, folks. This happens. Let's see what he could do this year. And that is the bottom line, folks. Jake Asman is in the building. He says, on Subway back from my radio show, we'll join Connor around 11 a.m. Support him. He's doing a great job. Jake, thank you so much for the kind words. And it will be good to share the screen with you in around 15 minutes. So I appreciate you, Jake. Thank you for tuning in here on the show. This is Connor. You could tell the people we will give away a Sauce Gardner G5 t-shirt at the end of the show today for anyone who enters the raffle. So there you go. You heard it from the man himself. We're giving away a Garrett Wilson G5 t-shirt today here on the show. Make sure you get in on that. Get all your memberships, get all your super chats in. That's how you can enter the raffle. And on top of that, you're also giving away some pretty cool prizes here. A Darrelle Revis signed jersey, a Nick Mangold signed jersey, and a Wayne Corbett signed photo. So get all your gifted memberships in. They give you an opportunity to win the Garrett Wilson G5 t-shirt, which I will pull up here on the show momentarily. There's a huge new merch drop that just occurred for all you Asmaniacs. So definitely go over to the merch store and check that out for sure. Some super, super cool t-shirts. I'm about to pull it up for you guys right here on the screen. Have you guys seen the Garrett Wilson and AG t-shirts? They're pretty cool. So make sure you get into the raffle. Make sure you get all your gifted memberships in so you get an opportunity to win those 3 items of memorabilia along with the G5 t-shirt, which is pictured now right over here on your screen. That is the G5 t-shirt, folks. The silhouette of the iconic catch on Halloween, where I know a lot of you as Maniacs were at that game against the Houston Texans, the point where a lot of us Jet fans thought this was turning a corner. Unfortunately, they weren't, but you can get in on the raffle. Also gives you an opportunity to win that Garrett Wilson picture shown right on your screen. Again, appreciate all the support. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Connor Long getting things started for Jake Asman right here on the Jake Asman Show. Keep all the questions, comments, thoughts flowing here on the show. You guys can call into the show with the Gusbuster hotline pinned at the top of the chat. We're going to go back to the phone lines in a little. But Kyle Clifton, baby, cuts the line with a $10 super chat. Shout out to you, Kyle. I appreciate the support here on the show. Thank you so much, my friend.
I need some of your mama's chicken soup. I need some of your
Oh, yeah, Kyle. Thank you so much for the $10 super chats. Connor is correct. QBs are safe till in season on practice squad usually. Then the injuries come or Browns just might add him to the room as a lark. LOL. Kyle, I appreciate the $10 super chat. And yeah, I mean, with every roster spot so valuable, we rarely see teams carry 3 quarterbacks in the league anymore. The Jets can carry both of Cook and Martinez if they want on the practice squad, truly, without, sacrificing any huge name. And they won't count against the 53. So the way to go here with these guys is keeping them on the practice squad without it counting against the roster. You still retain all their rights. So that is the way to go for sure here with this team. Absolutely. Joining us next right here on the show as we go back to the Gusbuster hotline is the great Ricky New York, baby.
I'm Ricky New York, and I love to smoke. Florida State, I really love Florida State. Hey, easy Thomas, you know it's from Florida State. At any rate, I call into smoking debate. Florida State, I really love Florida State. At any rate, thanks for taking my call, Jake.
Ricky!
Hey, how you doing, Connor? Good job this morning, as always.
Appreciate that.
And I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank you for my personalized Pokey Wilson update that you sent me
no
during the practices the other day. Long odds, I know, to make the team. But you know what? The first preseason game, things looked good. I think you can see Aaron Glenn's influence. I think people are finally starting to figure out what I was saying all along, that we got the right guy for the job. This just came in today.
There we go.
I got my...
Hopefully that age is better than the Travis jersey.
Yeah, yes. I'm certain it will. But... That was the first of 4 jerseys that I ordered, and I caught some flack from some people for some of the jerseys that I ordered because some of these guys aren't going to make the team. However, Pokey Wilson, Lawrence Toafili, they might not make the team, but you know what?
Their jerseys?
You're damn right.
Do you have a cheaper jersey provider that you use, or you're spending full price on this? You're spending the
I went the parts unknown route for those.
At least that makes more sense. So you're not dropping.
Yeah, I'm not paying top dollar for those. Yeah, but you know what? Like Toafili, he's probably not going to make the team. But you know what? He's a New York Jet right now, and he was part of that undefeated team that they had year before last, and so he has a special place in my heart. And so, yeah, and not to mention the fact that the other day I posted a picture of myself, an old picture in my David Clowney jersey, and some other people, I was surprised, had some very obscure jerseys too, and I was like, wow, I might actually have some competition, but I'm going to one-up them all. I'll have the most obscure Jets jerseys ever after this
Jordan, you might be the only owner of the Jordan Travis jersey, not in his family. There's a chance that's true.
No, I actually know a couple other people that got one as well. So I'm not the only one on that one.
Philly, though, and Pokey, probably.
Yeah, you know what? I might be the only people to have one of those for sure. You know what? I'm looking really forward to tonight. There's 2 units on this team that I think are going to be our strong points. first above everything else is going to be our secondary. I think our secondary is going to be absolutely bulletproof this year. The other one is our offensive line, who looked really good last week. And I think this game is going to be a really good test for them. See if they can hold up against these pass rushers that the Giants have. I'm looking really forward to this, man. This is a really good matchup, and I love matchups. I love like the game within the game,
Yeah, absolutely. Especially against a team like the Giants, when you have an offensive line that the Jets have built using so many key assets, multiple first-round picks, 3 first-round picks, a high second-round pick, and then a great free agent signing with John Simpson, against, on paper, my opinion, the best defensive line in all of football with the Giants. You got Brian Burns, you got Kayvon Thibodeau, you obviously got Abdul Carter, you got Dexter Lawrence. Like, my opinion, the best defensive line in all of football when you just look at it from a name standpoint. So
yeah, and Darius Alexander too, that they added this year.
High draft pick. So
they are absolutely loaded up front. Brian Burns, Florida State, another one of my guys, huge fan of his. But man, this is going to be a really good matchup for us. In particular, looking at our tackles. I want to see how Membu does. Most of all, but dude, Olu, and this is only my opinion, he might be the best Jets player on the field for us on offense so far, this season. By the looks of it, he has looked really, really good.
Olu and Membu bookend guys. Like yesterday, I was not worrying about Saturday. I was not worrying about pressure at all on fields. Like he looked poised, he looked confident. Like I never had to worry about him. I was never like get the ball out. And I think that I also don't fret that so much because I know Fields is able to get out of the pocket and move, unlike Rodgers. So if there is pressure bearing down, he's able to get out of the pocket and create with his legs, which is just such a key asset. Unless you are a Tom Brady, unless you are a prime Aaron Rodgers, unless you are a Peyton Manning, the pure pocket passer doesn't really exist in the NFL when it comes to making deep playoff runs, when it comes to winning Super Bowls. So I think the fact that he has the legs, his ability to get out of the pocket and make plays also kind of takes a load of pressure off the offensive line.
Well, and watching what they did in the game last week, as far as the way the offense operated, Stone Smart had the nice play later, which was a lot of effort on him. And also shout out to Newman on a great block downfield on that play too. But I like the way they used Smart, and Beck was obviously, involved early in the game. And you know what? The best way to counter that pass rush of the Giants, short passes, baby. Get the ball out quick. And so those running backs and tight ends are going to be very important, I think, as far as that. Which, I mean, it's only a preseason game, but there's a lot that we can learn from what we're going to see. So just looking forward to that, man. Looking forward to, I didn't actually get to watch the last game in person, but thank God I'm off work tonight, so I will get to see tonight's. Looking forward to the game tonight and hanging out with all my fellow Jets fans. What's that?
The Packers game you're watching tonight on replay?
No.
I thought you said you were watching. I thought you meant you were talking about the Packers game. You weren't able to catch it.
No, I didn't get to watch that one because I had to work. But this game, I do not have to work. So I will be able to watch the Giants game. I will be able to watch with all my fellow fans, and looking super forward to that. And, it's only preseason, but like I said, I think we can get a good indication of where things are headed. And, dude, I'll take any encouraging news I can get. For the first time in a long time, even though it was only preseason, we looked prepared. We came out looking like we were ready to play. They were aggressive. They were fired up. And it's very obvious that the players have bought in. And you know what? For all those people that didn't believe in Aaron Glenn and said, I'll believe it when I see it, get ready, because you're seeing it. You're starting to see it now, and we're going to see a lot more before it's over. Winning Jets football is back. Let's go, baby. Jets. Jets.
Ricky, thank you so much for the call, my friend. I appreciate the support, and I appreciate you tuning in and joining us live right here on the Jake Asman Show as I fill in for Jake. Again, Jake getting things started here for Jake on the show. Jake joining us shortly as he subways back home from the ESPN New York radio station co-hosting Morning Drive. These next 2 days, DNR. He's in for Rick DiPietro. So Jake obviously doing such great work, and he will be joining us shortly right here on the show. I'm starting to pull up updates per everyone's request of the team's joint practice today. I'll have it here on the screen pretty much the whole show so you guys can all see it. Justin Fields off to a hot start. He's 5 of 5 in team drills, 12 of 13 total. We see the tweet there from Connor Hughes. What does that say? Sorry, I got to switch over. Dicing up the Giants secondary. So a lot of great things to see today out of Justin Fields. We'll be providing you guys updates here all show long. Jake comes in, says off the subway. We'll be with Connor in less than 10 minutes. There we go, Jake. Love to see it. Fields having a great practice so far. Indeed he is, and looking forward to sharing the stage with you shortly right here on the show. Jake, let's go back to the phone lines. Up next right here on the show, Michael Levinson joins us here on the show. Michael, how you doing, my friend?
How you doing, Connor? I know it's preseason, but listen, we need to settle down on our expectations. I'm happy they signed Fields. There was nobody out there, but you know what? He went against the vanilla defense in Green Bay. There was no blitzing. Okay, everyone said, well, he stood in the pocket. I get it. But I remember a while back, I was listening to Joe Blewett, and he said the reason why Pittsburgh benched him was that he had a hard time trusting his eyes, seeing open receivers, always going to the check down, and he couldn't read defenses. So I need to see more before I can say, oh, Justin Fields is doing okay. Now, Saturday, when he goes against that defensive line of the Giants, if they're going all in, which I think they will, and he shows me something, hey, maybe we can start raising our expectations. But until he does it in real time, I have to see it. And my second remark is, this is the first time I've actually seen a head coach hold people responsible. That second personal foul, I think, Saturday night, when it was just egregious and why he hit him, he took him on the sideline and he pointed to the white line. I'm assuming he said, that's a white line. You don't hit anybody. I mean, that's what we need, right?
Accountability, and being able to execute the offense, Michael, is what I was most impressed with Justin Fields. And I know it's still vanilla offense, vanilla defense. It's in the preseason, but he just looked comfortable. He looked confident, and he scored a touchdown. So if you don't laugh, you cry. If you're not happy about Justin Fields, you're disappointed in his performance. There was a lot more positive than negative I saw out of Fields. So that's where I get excited. There was a lot more positive out of him than negative. So am I like Justin Fields franchise quarterback? No, I was a big Justin Fields fan when the Jets first signed him. I've been a Justin Fields fan since he was in college. I have higher expectations for him among most Jet fans, and I think that's the biggest discrepancy when Jet fans talk about win totals here. Some people have the Jets winning 6 games, and it's, well, are you high on Justin Fields? No, I think he's going to be a bottom 5 quarterback. And then some people, like myself, have the Jets winning 8 games. There are people who have the Jets winning 9 or 10 games, and those are the people who are higher on Fields. So we'll see it in full swing. We'll see it less than a month away, September 7th against the Pittsburgh Steelers, week 1 at MetLife Stadium. But the reason that I got excited was Fields wasn't turning the ball over. He wasn't throwing hospital balls like I've seen in practice, covering a few of these practices. He wasn't forcing turnovers. He wasn't forcing throws through tight windows. So that's where my excitement sparked from as a fan.
Well, here's my thing also. I mean, I was a fan of him coming out of college, but in Chicago, what did he have? He didn't have a line, didn't have a running game, one receiver, the coaching sucked. And now he's going to have a line. He's going to have 2 good running backs, maybe 3. Okay. He has receivers, tight ends. There's really no excuse for him now. This is his last chance. Do you agree?
Absolutely. It's his last chance to be a starter. This is 5th year in the league. He's 26 years old. He has yet to we see the upside with him, Michael. He's shown flashes as to why he's a franchise guy and he has the potential to hit that, but it's all just potential and now has to turn into fruition. And this is his last year to put all those pieces to the puzzle together.
Well, after the last 2 years, I'm 64. I've had plenty of disappointment. My expectation of the last 2 years was as high as it could be. and it just flattened me. So this year, it's just enjoy. It's just enjoy and just see what happens. Connor, you're doing a great job.
I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you so much for the call, my friend. I appreciate the kind words, and I appreciate the support. Again, Connor Long getting things started here for you guys. For Jake Asman, Jake will be joining us shortly here on the show. Says Connor is crushing it. Plug your channel, Connor. Jake, thank you so much, my man. I appreciate the kind words, and I appreciate this opportunity. As always, I just threw the link in the chat, guys. If you want to go over, you want some daily Jets content from myself, I threw the link in the chat. You guys can click that link to hit subscribe. And it would mean a long way, as we are less than 80 subscribers away from 2,000 subscribers. So if you can, guys, please just go over there quickly, hit subscribe. It goes a long way. It helps me grow significantly as a content creator, as a supporter of this team, daily Jets content on that channel. So I appreciate all of your support, as always, right here on the Jake Asman Show as I get things started again. Jake should be joining us shortly, so stay tuned for that. Appreciate all your support. In the meantime, let's keep it going with your calls. Joining us next here on the show is Big Cho.
Gator says, I think Big Cho might need an intro.
Big Cho. Yeah, it's nice. I like my recliner. No, I just called to check in. Big Cho. I don't like all those wrinkles on my head. I don't have that many wrinkles. We're talking about Big Cho. My implants are coming in 3 months.
The Kardashian ones?
I put the jet gear on for you. Been running some errands earlier. Came home just chilling. Big Cho.
Joe.
Connor.
How are you, my friend?
How you doing, man? I wanted to give you a compliment. You are the man.
I appreciate that, Joe. I appreciate that.
Now, how old are you?
I am 14. I just turned 14 less than a month ago.
You got a bright future, my man. I'm telling you.
I appreciate that.
I've been teaching and coaching young ages from anywhere from kindergarten to college my entire life. And I love to see young people thrive every day. I feel like that's what we were put on the earth, to make the new generation the best they can be. And I think you're killing it.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the kind words, and thank you for tuning in here on the show.
Oh, yeah, you know it. I was trying to get on earlier with Ricky.
Did you put it in the chat?
Yeah, I didn't do it.
I'm sorry that I was opening Twitter for the joint practice tweets.
Yeah, no problem. Because he's a big FSU fan, Ricky, New York.
Yeah.
And I'm a FSU alum.
Okay. Oh, you went to Florida State?
Yes, sir. And so I was just gonna chop it up with him a little bit if he was still on, but that's okay.
Unfortunately, he is not backstage. If he does rejoin, I will make sure you guys can share the stage together. You like the preseason game, Shell? What was your
sir?
What was your big takeaway from the preseason game?
Man, I was hyped. The good news was, I live in North Carolina, so I don't get the Jets game. I'm getting them regular season because I got the Sunday ticket.
Mm-hmm.
But preseason, you never know. But the first 2 games are going to be on NFL Network, so I get to see the first 2 games, not the third game. But so I was excited about that first and foremost. I thought that the Jets came prepared to play. They looked like they wanted to play. They looked like they were prepared to play. And that goes to Aaron Glenn. I wanted him from the get-go. And I was saying that before we hired anybody, that I thought Aaron Glenn was our guy. And it's showing up big time. So that was the first takeaway. I thought Justin Fields did an excellent job in his one drive, only having one drive, but he did an excellent job. He looked at his routes. He checked it down when necessary. He had a few good check downs, and then he went through his progression at the end and ran it in for a touchdown using his legs. So I thought he gets an A as far as a grade in one drive for sure. What do you think?
I thought Fields had a great drive. His ability to lead the offense, march all the way downfield, and most importantly for me, use his legs was the biggest bonus that we saw out of him on Saturday. And I was pleased with his performance. I wanted to see the starters for a little longer, but the fact that it was just go down the field, score, take them out, I'm okay with that because Aaron Glenn saw what he wanted to see, which was a scoring possession from the offense. And Shaw, I appreciate the call. You got any final thoughts?
No, I was just going to say, I was going to ask your opinion about this weekend against the Giants. Two things. First of all, do you think that we'll play the starters a little bit more? And number two, what matchups would you say I need to definitely pay attention to when I'm watching the game on Saturday?
So, Cho, I'd say yes to the first question. I think we'll see starters at least for one series in the remaining two preseason games against both the Giants and the Eagles. And the key matchup, Cho, look up front in the trenches. This offensive line obviously has some key players in Armand Membu, Olu Fashanu, Joe Tippmann, and then the two guards on the inside, Vera Tucker and Simpson, both looking for paydays next season. That's the matchup I'd look for. The Giants' defensive line is one of the best on paper in this league, if not the best. Brian Burns, Darius Alexander, you have Kayvon Thibodeau, you have obviously Abdul Carter. So this is an elite defensive line going up against an offensive line that held their own against a solid Packers front. So I'd look up in the trenches because you have the number 7 overall pick in Armand Membu. You have your 2023 first-round pick, Olu Fashanu there, along with some other key assets who had a great game against Green Bay, and we'll see if they can keep it going against one of the best defensive lines in the league.
Yeah, because they have Abdul Carter, right?
They do.
And they also have Thibodeau.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Yeah, I think the trenches is going to be one thing to watch. Appreciate that, Connor.
Of course, Cho. Thank you so much for the call. Have a great day, my friend.
Yeah, do the same. Have a blessed one.
Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Big Cho Jet checking in on the show. Thank you, Cho. Appreciate the call as always. And now joining us here on the show, he has arrived back home at his ostentatious residence. The great Jake Asman joined
I'm here. I'm on my own show. Connor, you're doing an excellent job. Great listen in between subway stops. And I was oddly stuck at the Times Square one for like 10 minutes. So that's why I'm a little later than I wanted to be. I wanted to join you by 11. But you've been crushing it, man. You don't need my help. I just figured I'd pop on for the rest of the show. Now, did you do the ZipRecruiter read, Connor? How far along are we with our sponsors today?
We did both of them. We did the FanDuel one, obviously, right at the start of the show, and then we ZipRecruited it up around 45 minutes, 50 into the show, I think it was. So, yes, we've completed both the reads.
Excellent. And did we mention the fact that you're going to be joining me and the Asmaniacs at our watch party on Saturday?
We did, about the Asmaniac watch party. Jets, Giants, baby. Big game, and hopefully the Jets can get another win. Hopefully Justin Fields shows us some more promising play as well.
Now, while I was watching you, Connor, and again, thanks to the Asmaniacs who listened on radio, I'm in from 6 to 10 again tomorrow, so Connor will do the same thing. We'll start the show tomorrow. While I was listening to you and kind of scrolling through Twitter, sure sounds like the Jet offense is looking good right now. Mason Taylor is back. I'm sure you talked about that. I know for a fact you mentioned it. And Justin Fields is off to a red-hot start. He was good in 7-on-7. He was good in the move the team period. So that, to me, was the big thing I wanted to see this week. I wanted to see how this offense looks against a different team. That's not the Jets. That already knows the Jets' tendencies. And we are seeing Fields play well. He played well in the one drive against Green Bay, against their starters. He's looked good against the Giants, and their defense is obviously much improved. So I think the initial reports, and it's early, and take everything with a grain of salt in the preseason, but I think the initial reports from practice with the joint practice going on right now is that Fields and the offense, they look sharp. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. And to see Justin Fields look poised and confident against an elite defense like the Giants, especially when you look at a front like they have, that's able to create so much havoc. We just spoke about it with Big Show earlier on his call with Dexter Lawrence, with Darius Alexander, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, all Brian Burns, a whole list of names, guys who are among the best in the league. It's good to hear that Fields is looking confident. He's able to get the ball out of his hands quick and make plays. I understand it's just a joint practice, but Jake, it's good to hear positives over negatives, especially as a Jet fan. And I would be a little concerned if we were hearing about, Fields taking all these sacks, not being able to get the ball out quickly, throwing hospital balls. but that's not the case. I understand we don't want to overreact here, but it's always good to hear positives over negatives this time of year.
Yep, 100%. I'm seeing, by the way, some of the highlights that the Jets themselves have posted.
Mm.
Fields, wow, what a throw here. Let's see this full play. I'm watching it. What a dart. Who hit? Oh, it's Tyler Johnson. Wow. Yeah, I mean, look, Fields having a good practice. I just saw a Richie from Jets Media quote tweeted. Fields is he's balling right now. That's what you want to see. So take everything with a grain of salt, Jet fans. But once again, you much rather Justin Fields and this offense play well than the opposite. Now, I didn't get a chance to see you're open to the show, Connor. So who were the biggest winners and losers from the preseason opener? You don't got to give me the full breakdown, but give me the top 3 at each, and then I'll go back and rewatch the show when we get off air here.
So for me, it was Fields, Martinez, and then at the wide receiver tight end, the pass catchers, I went with Andrew Beck, Stone Smart, defensively, J. Tufele, Jamin Davis, Jamarcus Weston, Quantez Stiggers for me. So that was the top 3 to 5 for me, pretty much winners and losers on each side of the ball there.
Solid. And I think, once again, including Fields is justified. If we were going to include coaches, Glenn gets a game ball, had him ready to play, impressive start, held guys accountable with the penalties. And then I thought Tanner Engstrand caught a hell of a game. I really did. I'm very encouraged by what we saw from him.
Yeah, I'd also give an A+ to Chris Banjo. Larry Romano in the chat asked me for my report card for the coaching side of things. The only A+ I gave out was to the special team side of things, Jake. This is a unit that obviously struggled significantly last year, and we saw Austin McNamara go out and thrive. All of his punts inside the 20, a ton of around 4.5 seconds in hang time on each one of his boots. Gunners were down there flying around making plays, no missed kicks. So I thought the special teams unit was sneakily a positive on Saturday because, if you're talking about special teams, it's typically not a good thing with this team. So that's something that just flew under the radar that I wanted to mention.
Special teams has not been a good thing with this team in years. It needs to be corrected if this team is going to overachieve, period. Like the only path that the Jets have of being a lot better than many think is they win those, those games around the margins. They are able to hit their kicks. They're able to cover on special teams. They don't allow a big return in the punt game or the kickoff game. Like they got to be flawless in those areas. And you could actually win a lot of games in the NFL by just not losing the game yourself. If you don't make the mistakes and the other team you're playing does, that's how you can win more games than most expect.
Most definitely. And this team doesn't have the talent, Jake. This team doesn't have the talent of, a Chiefs team, a Bengals team, even a Bills team, a Ravens team to afford to make special teams mistakes and expect to win games because of it. The Jets are going to have to play a almost perfect brand of football game in and game out if they want to go 9-8, if they want to go 10-7 and they're in a wild card spot this year. So the Jets don't have the talent. The Jets don't have the team to afford avoidable mistakes, special teams, penalties, etc.
What was your take on the running game and the debate that seems to be happening in the fan base about Breece Hall all of a sudden he's expendable, which don't get me started.
I covered that. And Jake, we know, we were talking a ton around draft time. You knew that I was okay taking a 3rd-round pick for Breece Hall if they were to trade him. People who think Breece Hall is not the best running back in the Jets backfield as it stands, I completely disagree with those out there. Look, it's great to see guys like Allen and Isaiah Davis, even Donovan Edwards shine in the preseason, but let's not just throw out the window what we saw from Breece Hall in 2023. There's still the upside. Last year, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I think he's a very good football player. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Last year, there was the coaching staff. That was a huge issue, unable to scheme him open. Aaron Rodgers obviously didn't like to hand the ball off. He has to hold on to the football. He has to regain that elusiveness. But I am betting on Breece Hall's upside over taking a 5th or 6th round pick because I saw I actually reacted to a chat question about that. Someone was asking me, if I think the Jets should trade Breece Hall to the Texans for John Mechie and a 3rd round pick. Frankly, you're not getting a 3rd round pick in a rosterable quality wide receiver in exchange for Breece Hall. I think if you were to trade Breece Hall right now, you could look as low potentially as a 7th round pick. It just shows how low the trade value is at the running back position, especially Hall after a down season. So I'm betting on the upside of Hall rather than taking a day 3 pick.
Load up your calls. I just put the call-in link. Connor did a great job taking a couple of them before. We're talking Jets. We are reacting in real time to what's happening at practice. I heard Connor already mention the weekly raffle prizes. We did it yesterday for raffle number 35. These are the top 3 for raffle 36. A signed Wayne Corbett helmet, a signed Nick Mangold jersey, and a signed Darrelle Revis jersey as our top prize. And If you heard Connor mention it, Garrett Wilson, G5 t-shirt, brand new in my merch store.
Oh.
You pick the color and the size. We'll send it to you if you win the raffle. We've only had a couple memberships so far, so I'm going to gift a couple channel memberships coming up here, give people a chance to get one. And if you get one, guess what? I'm adding you to the raffle. I'm not entering myself in my own raffle. Rasta Dread, speaking of guys who won prizes, Rasta Dread yesterday won a signed Jermaine Johnson jersey. He says, rock out, Connor. Great job so far. Did you get to this one from JB? I don't know if you hit this when I was in the subway.
I did not. Those final couple super chats after I went to the phone lines, the two after yours, Jake, I did not get to. So the roster one I didn't get to, and then this is the last one I did not
Okay.
get to.
Well, this question was directed at you, Connor, so you can go first. JB writes in, do you see Justin Fields throwing for over 20 touchdowns this season or rushing for over 10 touchdowns this year?
If I had to pick one, I'd gamble on him rushing for over 10 touchdowns than throwing for over 20. I think you're looking around 30 touchdowns for Fields this season in that 30 to 33 range. It could be, something like 17, 18 through the air and then the remaining coming on the ground. I think Justin Fields will combine for more than Aaron Rodgers' 28 touchdowns last year just because of the ability to use his legs and get into the end zone. I think you're looking in that 30, 33 range. Like I said, I think he has a better chance, though, for rushing for over 10 touchdowns than throwing for over 20.
I would bet on the rushing over the 20 just because we've seen it, but I think he could hit over both. I don't think it's out of the question. Now, if he hits over both, this team's going to be a lot better than most think because I think they would have a pretty successful offense if they got close to 30 touchdowns from their quarterback. Like that's that's what the Lamar Jacksons of the world do, right? Then you start to talk about like most improved and MVP consideration. I don't know if it'll be quite that good, but if Fields could come close to 20 and let's say have 8 or 9 rushing touchdowns, I think with the style of offense they want to be, I think that's good enough for this team to win maybe 9 games and be in the playoff mix.
Oh, most definitely. Like even if he could just be a game manager, Jake, it's kind of, I know this isn't going to be the offense we see in the regular season, which we saw on Saturday, but even if he's able to manage the game, not turn the ball over, not make significant mistakes, and this defense that's loaded with talent, has a very experienced coaching staff, is able to live up to their hype as a top 5, top 7 unit in this league, you're looking at 8 wins for this team year one of a new era, in my opinion. So I think the biggest thing for Justin Fields is going to be minimizing turnovers, minimizing mistakes, and simplifying everything.
Simplifying it and having answers to some of the difficult decisions that he's gonna have to deal with as a quarterback, where the offense is built to run the ball and teams are going to try and stack the box and dare him to be able to go through progressions and beat him. They got to have answers to blitzes. That's where I think Brees is huge. There was a tweet that I bookmarked from, I think Boy Green is at practice today, so I think it might have been him. He basically said, I love how the Jets used Brees in this one play design. They had him lined up as a receiver. Fields went through his progression, and then boom, hit Brees for what was a big gain. Some updates from practice now. Brian Burns apparently having an unbelievable practice. He's been flying around, got another sack on Justin Fields after beating Armand Membu. This is your welcome to the NFL week for Armand Membu. You're going up against, at times, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence could be rushing off the edge in some scenarios. Thibodeau. I mean,
all these different guys.
He's going up against McDonald in practice every day, and he's no slouch. But this is a step up in competition now for the rookie. So let him allow the sacks now and learn from it ahead of the game Saturday and continue his progression. Brian Costello, things have cooled off for the Jets offense in the last 2 periods. 2 sacks, 2 incompletions. So this was the Jets' second team drive. Fields incomplete, pass over the head to Tyler Johnson. Braylon Allen loses 2. Brian Burns tackle for loss. Brian Burns sack, beat Membu. Play call dead, so another punt. So it was going to be up and down, but it was good to see Fields getting off to what was considered a good start. Now, you tell me if you can see this, Connor. Can you see the screen share here?
I can.
Okay, I'm going to try and roll the play. And
career drops, I believe it is, over 6 years in the league. So this is a guy who could develop, maybe not into a wide receiver 2 for you on this team, but can be a wide receiver 3, could be your number 4 target in this passing attack. So Tyler Johnson certainly brings a lot of upside here, and it's going to be intriguing to see the way the Jets are able to maximize his skill set.
Dylan Terreman says Fields moving to his left to flick that into a tight window was great to see. He's got all the talent in the world. Can they coach him up to harness it? And that's where the coaching comes in.
Absolutely. I wrote this in an article, I believe, the other day, something along the lines of, we've seen the promise, we've seen the potential in Fields, but this is his last opportunity to turn that potential into fruition. So Fields is going to have to put all the pieces of the puzzle together this year, because I think this is his last opportunity to show that he's a starting caliber quarterback.
If not this year for Justin Fields, it's fair to wonder if he ever gets another opportunity to truly be the guy. So I think that's all fair. I mean, no one's just going to hand him a starting quarterback job in this league if it doesn't work out. So he's playing for his career here, which, sometimes that might be what he needs to, kick his ass into gear and have that breakout year. He's certainly more mature than he was. He admitted that after the game on Saturday when they said, is it tough to kind of block out some of the outside noise? And he said it used to be, but now it's a lot easier now. Opinions don't matter. He's in a better place, I think, mentally. And I think what he went through last year in Pittsburgh is going to help him too. Being benched at 4-2, a humbling experience. But he's been impressive so far. I like the fact that he's been able to bounce back from some rough practices, look good in the game. It's all, relative, and you take it with a grain of salt. But I'd rather be positive than negative in August if I don't have to be negative.
There we go. Exactly. That's the whole bottom line for me with Fields' performance. And if you look around the whole offense, Jake, it's make or break years for so many different players on this team. You have Fields, you have Jeremy Ruckert. You look at Breece Hall, it's a make or break year for him as well. Not Garrett Wilson, but he's looking to show why he deserved that payday on the offensive side of the ball. Same on the defense. You have a guy like Quincy Williams, who is getting up there in age for the linebacker position. He's chasing a payday. So there are so many different guys on this team. It's a make or break year for, and I think you couldn't ask for a better coaching staff if you were a player entering a make or break season, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Comments, questions, super chats, they will cut the line. Connor Long hosted the first hour of the show solo, did a great job. Make sure you guys subscribe to Connor's YouTube channel, NY Flight Jets Talk. You can read Connor on JetX. Speaking of JetX, Robbie Sabo, who is there right now, is the afternoon guest on the show to recap everything at practice. But since practice is happening now and we have tweets to discuss, should anything notable happen, we will bring it up on the screen. I just saw a tweet, and this is not surprising. Abdul Carter against the Jets' backup O-lineman isn't really fair. So I'd imagine that is not a great matchup for Carter Warren and Max Mitchell and company to have to deal with Abdul Carter, who very well may end up being the best player from his draft class when it's all said and done.
Most definitely. Armand Membu held his own this past week against, I know you're talking about the backup here, but you spoke about Membu earlier. It was great to see Membu along this offensive line hold their own against a solid Packers pass rush. I went back, I watched the film on NFL Plus because they give you the preseason film, and against Kenny Clark, against Lucas Van Ness, all these different guys, these former first-round picks, these all-pros, he was holding his own. He was staying true. He was anchoring down. He was standing upright. So it was great to see this offensive line stick out against Green Bay, but they're going to get put to a real test against the Giants, assuming we see starters on Saturday.
I'm going to give 5 memberships in about a minute. So if you're watching the show live right now, 1, subscribe to the channel. You can't get a membership unless you have that done. 2, like the video. You can't get a membership unless the algorithm thinks you're interacting with the show. And then 3, make sure in settings you click that option that you want to be able to receive a gifted membership. You do that, and I'll give you a chance to get one. We're going to give away a Garrett Wilson t-shirt, new in my merch store, at the end of the stream. So your chance to win this at the end of the stream if you enter the raffle. Uno Jets, who won a Fields jersey in a recent raffle, says, Jake, I received my jersey. Thank you. Let's go Jets. Uno, always appreciate your support. Thrilled that you won a prize. Well-deserved. Okay. Yo Home says, everyone says it's only preseason, but conversely, if the Jets stunk against the Packers, we all would have been moaning for days. Agreed. That's why if Fields was awful at practice and then had an awful first preseason game, what do you think the narrative would be? So let's acknowledge the fact that it's not everything, but it's not nothing. It's nice that he played well, and he seemingly has had a good practice, at least so far. With, the ones for the Jets against the ones for the Giants.
Most definitely. That's what I said earlier. It's great to hear more positive than negative this time of year. I'm not here to say that Jets are going to the Super Bowl, Justin Fields is going to be the franchise quarterback, but I'm here to say that we've seen Fields progress since the start of camp, and we've seen him take steps in the right direction, which is exactly what you want to hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, memberships are being gifted in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. 5 gifted memberships by yours truly. Hit the Jet chant. Yeah, buddy. If you hear your name called, you're entered to win a Garrett Wilson G5 shirt at the end of the stream. Hold on. My card got declined. It didn't load.
Hey, now.
What the hell happened here? I gifted 5 memberships. I hit the button, and it's not working.
Oh,
Make
no.
sure your payment method is sufficient. I'm very certain my payment method has sufficient funds. Okay. Well, this could be a greater issue that I'm now dealing with beyond not having $25 to gift to the audience. Hold on a second. This is not good. Oh, you know what? I don't have sufficient funds because I forgot my rent check cleared today. And I completely forgot about that. Not great. Terrible. Is that what did it? Let's see. Check. The electric bill too, Connor. I mean, getting old sucks. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, the wedding check I gave to my friends. They already cashed it. They wasted no time on their honeymoon. All right. Yep, that's why I have no money, folks. Stand by. I'm like, how did my card get declined? That doesn't make any sense. Well, I actually have no money. All right, hold on. I'm still going to get memberships. It's just going to take me a little longer to do the old switcheroo of some cash here.
The old credit card way now.
And then plus I got to pay Connor for his great work today.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
This is something. Okay.
Money check.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have money again. And we're going to try this for the second time. We are going to gift memberships. And if you get a membership from me, I'm entering you in the Asmaniac raffle. Here we go. Connor, would you like to count from 5 to 1 for me?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, memberships have officially been gifted. Let's try this again. All right, now the following 5 people are channel members. Matt P, STA, The Gabagool, Rob L, and Hank G. I'm going to enter the 5 of you guys in our raffle at the end of the show. While that was happening, Green Gang, he beat all of us to the punch. He dropped a 5 spot of channel membership. Shout out to you, Green Gang.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Green Gang, thank you. And then, Connor, we pay you. You don't spend money on this channel.
Gotta support the show. Gotta add to the Asmaniac community here, Jake. Gotta make another member here on the show.
Very nice of you, Connor. And if it's okay with the audience, I'm going to give Connor an extra raffle because he's hosting the damn show.
I appreciate that. As I sweated out trying to win this this G5 shirt here.
Love it. All right, couple updates from practice, and then we will get to your calls to close out the show. Before that raffle I referenced, we have a tweet from Connor Hughes here. He goes, another drive for the Jets offense against the Giants defense. Not moving the ball. Bad pass from Fields. It was high. Throwaway. Short Brees Hall run. Sack on 4th down. Everyone was around him. Not sure who first. Fields 0 for 4 passing with 3 sacks. Only 2 plays gained yards. 10-plus attempts. Both were short runs by Hall. Very good showing from the Giant defense. So Fields got out to the red-hot start, and now it feels like the Giant defense is winning now. So that's why when you judge practices in real time, you take the good with the bad, and we'll get the full context from Robbie Sabo this afternoon. But Giants have a really good defense, so this is a good test for the Jets. That's why I was very curious to see what they would look like here.
Absolutely. It's all right. It's joint practice here, folks. Fields got off to a hot start. The Giants defense is now winning. Don't be too concerned with what you're seeing. And Jake, like you said, Robbie does a great job breaking down all the context and everything that really did happen beyond just the pure sack numbers. X completed the pass to X for Y amount of yards. So that's that'll be intriguing for sure. But it's joint practice here, folks. Still got 2 preseason games left in the regular season, less than a month away. So don't fret, no matter what you see, positive or negative today from the joint practice.
Super chat from a man who called in earlier, Ricky NY. Jake needs money for his financial department. Come on, guys. This is serious. We are built for this shit. It's true. I do need money from the financial department. That honeymoon check, that wedding gift, that wasn't cheap. That just cashed.
I mean, Beast is retired, Jake. You can maybe ask him for some funds. I mean, you give him a platform here on the show. He's retired.
Have you taken a Beast call yet?
We brought Beast on earlier. Yes, we did. But
all right, let's say hello to a man who has made it clear he will not sacrifice his guinea pig if it meant the Jets would win the Super Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to Beastbreaker.
Practicing up for basketball season. You know what time it is.
Basketball? It's football time.
Yeah, I know, but basketball's only a month and a half away. Gotta get those shots up.
I could care less about basketball. It's football, baby.
Oh yeah, what a time to be alive.
And you're wearing a hockey hat too.
Hey, that's right around the corner. I'm feeling good. But I think Clemens has to go number one. He has to go. I'm sorry. He brings too much, bad vibe. No, can't have that here. And number 41, I think it was best for Aaron Glenn to sit his butt down because next time he gets out of control like that, you just tell him, next time you get into a fight, you get thrown out of this game, you're going home for good. Just so you know.
Hey, Beast, how is little Joey taking the news that a lot of people would sacrifice him for a Jet championship?
That's disgusting. We're not gonna talk about that today. We're gonna talk something different.
Hey, can you confirm if this is you or not? By the way, this was sent to me. You were at a Jet game a couple of years ago. Is this you?
What are you, blind?
I couldn't tell. Don't you have the same sandals, like the pink sandals that?
Give me a freaking break.
So this is not you.
Have you gone mentally ass backwards?
Have I gone mentally? Maybe. I don't want to rule it out.
I wear Vans. I wear Converse. I wear Adidas, and I have Timbos. Yo, Timberland.
Right.
Timbos.
Timbos.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right. Timbo. Yeah, the stuff that real men wear. Sure, $60. That's fine. But on the contrary, we're gonna be fine when the Giants come to our house. They're gonna get the worst bitch slapping on this planet, and when the crowds yell out, "You got bitch slapped!"
Hey, Tom D just sent in a super chat here. I noticed that his icon is the same as the photo on the screen. What do you think, Beast?
I don't think so. You can take that picture and shove it somewhere else because I'm not having that today.
Okay.
That's yesterday. We're gonna go forwards now. Complaining is out the window. As a matter of fact, I gotta go soon to go get some taco chips because today we're gonna have a little
Hey,
Mexico, baby.
Beast, can you tell Connor Long what you did to lose 70 pounds over the last 3 months?
Oh, let's see. Water.
I get to your age, Beast. I want to know
A lot
this.
of water, a lot of chicken, a lot of surprises, and a lot of exercise and staying in shape.
So how much do you weigh now?
Right now, I just took a look at the scale today. 244.
244. Wow.
I heard it was 258.
259.
Oh. Okay.
That's why I always keep a checkbook on you. And don't worry. Giants are gonna get that loud chant of "You got bitch slapped! You got bitch slapped!" And
what if the Giant fans start chanting "Little Joey, Little Joey"?
We'll see about that. Don't count your chickens unless they hatch.
Also, Beast, let's be real. I can't let you get away with a blatant lie. You said that you won't step on the scale, but apparently you did to say you're 244. Can you prove it?
It's not right now. It's downstairs, and I'm getting ready to head over to the store and go get my.
Okay, so when you call back today or tomorrow or the day after, I'm going to ask you every day to step on the scale until you do. Is that fair? Because one day you'll have time to do it.
We'll see. We'll see how I feel, but no more of this little Joey stuff. Because
Hey, I'll never show Beast. If you step on the scale, I'll never show this real accurate photo of you sacrificing little Joey for the Jets to win a Super Bowl. All right?
How about a little paid vacation because I've been busting my back really pretty
paid
hard.
vacation. You're retired. What have you done?
Oh, let's see. Lay down the ground foundation. Oh, let's see. How many times have I been thrown in the hole? Hundreds of times because assholes don't seem to understand where I come from.
Right, but why do you get a paid vacation for getting thrown in the hole? You threw yourself in the hole.
No, I didn't. People just can't stand the fact that I'm too tough and I'm way too real and personal. It's because I know how to get real. See, people don't know that about me. See, I'm real. Some people don't know I'm. They may think I'm fancy. Whoa.
Oh my God.
All right, he's real. I mean, that we know. He's real, all right.
Is he retired? Is he not? I mean, we don't know. I'd be intrigued to see because the global studio headquarters, to my understanding, Jake, is upstairs. So I wonder what is in the rest of those global studio headquarters.
Look, the second Beast gets on the scale, he could poo-poo and put to bed a lot of his doubters, but he won't do it. He says he's 244 now. I don't think people are going to believe that one.
I don't know where I stand on this. I haven't done enough in-depth analysis on Beast's weight.
Couple super chats, then back to your calls to close this bad boy out. Kyle Clifton says they have no proven depth in the receiver tight end rooms, but if Fields, Garrett, Mason Taylor can stay healthy, they have enough to be effective on offense. I agree with you, Kyle. That's a lot to ask for, though, right? Fields, Garrett, Mason Taylor all need to be healthy. And if you lose one of them, all of a sudden, then what? Mason Taylor is so important. We saw him. I don't think it's a coincidence. Mason Taylor's back today. Then all of a sudden, Justin Fields is throwing downfield and things are being opened up in the offense here. We saw that Fields was having some pretty good practices with Taylor out there, and then he got hurt. And then we had those 3 straight days where the passing offense reportedly struggled in camp. So it's important to keep these guys healthy. You're right. I just think they're a receiver short right now. Maybe Tyler Johnson emerges. I don't know. That was a nice catch we showed on the show earlier.
I'm a big Tyler Johnson fan. We certainly saw that promising touchdown reception from Stone Smart in the preseason, a great play design there. I think that's something we can see in the regular season, that tight end screen that allows them to pick up yak. They need someone to step up in this passing attack. It could be Josh Reynolds. It could be a UDFA. Quentin Skinner had a great grab on Saturday. Jamal Pritchett could be someone who steps up, but they need a third culprit to really catch fire in this passing attack this season.
Eli Betts, all the way out in Colorado, gifting 5 memberships. This week, we're giving away a signed Darrelle Revis jersey, signed Nick Mangold jersey, and a signed Wayne Corbett helmet. That and this at the end of the stream for our daily prize today. It is a Garrett Wilson G5 t-shirt, brand new in my merch store, jakeasman.com. Get yourself some fresh merch ahead of the football season. C with a super chatties in the raffle for 5. I rewatched the preseason game. I really like the motion and routes they had Garrett running. He was open every play. I see a huge season from him and Fields. Also impressed with Tyler Johnson. He keeps making plays today while G5 was doubled. Someone needs to emerge. Tyler Johnson has speed. We need someone to be a reliable pass catcher when Garrett is covered or double teamed. Someone needs to be schemed open, or someone needs to be able to win a one-on-one against the secondary defender. Maybe it's Tyler Johnson. I hope it is. I have some doubts on the receivers in general, Connor. Maybe it's Mason Taylor. I think Brees will be used a lot more in that department. Let me see if I can find the Boy Green tweet. I don't know if I ever actually pulled it up when I referenced it earlier. But that to me is my biggest concern, just the lack of true weapons. Boy Green tweeted 45 minutes ago, love how the Jets are using Hall as a wide receiver. Empty set, clear out. Hall underneath, massive gain against the Giants and 11 on 11s. Use them like Christian McCaffrey. That's how they got to use Brees Hall.
Absolutely. He has so much receiving upside, Jake. He can line up everywhere. Get him involved in the passing attack. We saw him have over 500 receiving yards in 2023. Why can't he do that again? Get him downfield. He has the speed. Hold on to the ball, though. That's the name of the game for Brees Hall. He had a fumbling issue last year, multiple drops. Hold on to the ball, and he's going to have a big year as a pass catcher on this team.
Aaron says, I want a G5 shirt. Aaron, it's just $5 to gift 1 membership and enter the raffle. So if you do that, I will put you down, and you have a chance to win a free one at the end of the stream. Byron Scher became a channel member. Byron, thank you. You're in the raffle for 1. All right, let's get to these last calls here. Connor, if you have to go at any point, you have more than served the audience, so appreciate you. Let's say hello to Adam, who's next on the program. What's up, Adam?
Hey, so I want to do an exercise with you both. I'm curious what you think. So just you take the names off the roster and you just look at how the offense performed in the preseason. If you didn't know the names of the players, how do you think the offense did?
If we did, so your question is,
my question is, did the offense do well regardless of who was, like, when you think about, we keep saying, oh, well, I don't know if we have enough talent on offense, we don't have enough talent in the receiver rooms. Is it just because we don't know these players? Like, they have to perform. So if they perform well, all right, so they don't have a big brand name. They're not, Jay Jettas or anything like that. But if our wide receiver 2 performs really well, and if it happens to be Reynolds, great. Like, are we just putting too little stock in our receiving room just because we don't know the players? And are we not really just using our eyes instead of looking at the names?
But the eyes haven't been that impressive either, Adam. I mean, Josh Reynolds has been fine.
None of these guys have established. That's the biggest thing for me. None of these guys have established at the NFL level. So I like security. I like security at these positions. And that's something that the Jets lack at the wide receiver position, at the tight end position, at multiple positions across this depth chart. So that's where my concerns stem from. I'm a big Quentin Skinner fan, for example. I don't think he could be the wide receiver 2, but he can emerge as a wide receiver 3 for you. He's someone I've been talking about since pre-draft time as someone I thought the Jets should covet in the late rounds or undrafted free agency. Guy who averaged over 20 yards a catch, around a 50% contested catch rate, 6'5", 195 pounds, a 2-star recruit at first coming out of high school, and now he's in the NFL. So I think the biggest thing for me is lack of established talent.
Sure, but it's also a brand new scheme, new coach, new everything. So there is you can't ask for stability when you're just basically laying the concrete on the foundation. But the foundation was good in preseason game 1. We'll see how it is in game 2. But I think there was something that Glenn said in the press conference that I think we were just thinking about defense personally. And then I didn't realize it also applies to the offense. Remember when he said we don't want to have a drop off no matter like what,
Yes.
That applies to the offense too. And how important is that statement in the scheme of the offense, considering, we don't necessarily know who's wide receiver 2, 3, 4, 5 yet. But if there isn't a drop off between 2 and 6, and you just have good performance in any of those positions and you let Garrett be Garrett, that sounds like a good win as we assess the talent that's on the field.
But I don't think they've had these great camps yet. I think they've had troubles getting open based on what I've heard.
Okay, so I guess we'll find out.
To your point, if they're all solid, then sure, it doesn't matter who 2 through 5 is. If they're all around the same, if they're actually good, but they're all just bad, that doesn't help.
Sure. All right, last question for you. What would it mean to the Jets if Arian Smith exceeds expectations the way that Will McDonald basically had when he was drafted? Everyone remembers their reaction when he was drafted, and I think we're pretty happy we have him, all things considered. What would it mean to the team if Arian Smith exceeded expectations on the field?
It's interesting.
Yeah, Connor, you answer first.
I think that could be the difference, in my opinion. Like, if he exceeds the expectations to the caliber of Will McDonald did, Will McDonald having double-digit sacks last year, like that could be the difference, in my opinion, of 6 wins compared to 6 or 7 wins compared to 8 or 9 wins. Just to have a lanky downfield threat like Smith, who could just take the top off the defense. Because if he's
Are you outside, Connor? Are you outdoors?
I am I'm not outdoors, but I could take the background off for a second. I just didn't want it to be distracting.
I hear wind though. Where are you?
I am visiting. Let me try to get this off quickly. I am visiting family in upstate New York, so I'm in a screened-in porch. So
Fancy.
It's the.
I like the effort with the green screen, but look at this background here, man. Nice to be Connor Long, baby. Look at this guy.
There we go. Yeah, it's super fun here in the tropical woods of upstate New York. Oh yeah, I did. Sorry about that. I didn't know you guys could hear the actual wind. I didn't put my mic, unfortunately.
I'm glad I did. I wanted to see the view. Look at it. Nice to be Connor Long, baby. That those YouTube checks paying well.
Indeed.
Yeah. I can tell. AJ, two last things. Sorry, last things. I really like the typo on the shirt yesterday. I think you should make this a meme that, like, anytime you have an Asmaniac featured on a shirt for the first 24 hours, there's a purposeful misspelling, like special edition that you can only get within the first 24 hours, just to make it a meme, because that Beastbreaker thing was really funny.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a market for that, but I will say we did sell more shirts with the improper spelling than the correct spelling. So,
my God.
people liked it. We sold way more shirts yesterday than I ever could have imagined, which is just amazing.
I think there's something to it. Just make it like a very limited edition on the shop for the first 24 hours on purpose.
Are you going to get one, Adam? I'll consider it.
I'll get a gray 3D boxing. How about that?
Oh, you want a little Gary 3D boxing?
No, I want gray 3D boxing.
Gray instead of Gary. That's funny.
So anyway, and make it a gray shirt too for fun. And then lastly, I think just considering how many really nice backgrounds we have from the guests in the Asmaniacs, we should probably have a Best Backyard Asmaniac Award next time around.
I like that. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pay homage to some of our great callers. I'm going to start using some of my green screen programming here. I'm now going to do the rest of the show from the Beast Attic.
Wow.
Global studio headquarters. What a lucky guy. You've been able to visit such highly esteemed headquarters.
It's great to be here.
Definitely.
Right, thanks, guys.
Adam, thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
All right, last chance to get in on the raffle here. What do we got? How about this from Mimosa? Jake, if Connor doesn't win the Garrett shirt, send him one and I'll pay for it. Let me know the best way to do this. Connor, you're awesome. Mimosa, very nice. But if Connor Long wants a Garrett shirt, I'd be happy to send him one.
I appreciate that, Mimosa. Thank you so much for the kind words and support, as always, my friend.
Now, have you ever taken a call from V-Man before, Connor? It's probably a little before your time when you started watching my show.
I have. He's called into my show probably 3 or 4 times within the past year, so I have taken a call from V-Man, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I take this V-Man call, I'm going to pay homage to V-Man. I am going to do this phone call from his very room. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to say hello to the man himself.
It's time for another V-Man call. Hopefully he's not sleeping. Adios mio.
Oh,
V-Man and Grandpa Julio. Yeah.
Dile, salúdalo. Hey. That's the most word you're gonna get out.
VPA.
Tiene ese.
Now you know football season's here. V-Man's calling in with the full family. Oh, is that Linus? Here we go. We're back,
Lucy.
baby.
That's Lucy.
Lucy. I love it. We're all the way back. We got V-Mom here too. Love it.
Hey, what's up? How you been?
We got the full family affair.
Yeah, how you been, Jake?
I've been good, V-Man. I'm excited to see you Saturday. I saw you bought a ticket to the watch party.
Oh yeah, no, I should be.
Said who's Jake?
Oh no, V-Man, your internet was trash. But I will see you Saturday, or if you call back the afternoon show, I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, V-Man's a staple on this channel. You take the summer off though. He's been very busy doing God knows what.
Yeah, Coquito, we don't know at this point. As long as he's alive, we're good.
Now, I know you went to Big Cho earlier, but he's hung around. I think he had some points he wanted to make to me. Is it okay if I go back to Big Cho, Connor?
Oh, yeah, of course. Let's do it. Love Big Cho.
Cho, how we doing? Cho?
Oh.
Yo.
Hey, Cho.
There's two of them, so I think...
What's up?
Try adding the second camera, Jake.
Hey, Cho, how are you talking without your mouth moving?
Say what?
Here. What about... There we go.
That was actually a bit, Connor, but you couldn't have known.
Oh.
That. So it's okay. That was the radio in me. What's up, Big Cho?
So, hey, I tried to call in your show this morning, starting about 10 after 6. And I finally got in at 9:15. But then out of time.
Joe, do me a favor. Call back with better internet, because it was tough to make out what you said. We didn't do a ton of calls on radio today, but Kyle Clifton did make it on of the Asmaniacs, and I feel kind of bad. Dave Rothenberg kind of butchered all over Kyle's point he was trying to make. So I had my guy Kyle's back afterwards. We were talking about Justin Fields and the offense, the optimism.
Love it. Love it. By the way, Jake, Richie from Jets Media, shout out to him at practice. Jets defensive tackle Fedarian Mathis just threw a punch to a Giants offensive lineman. So much like last year's joint practice with the Giants, things are getting a little spicy in Florham Park.
Fields finds Ruckert for touchdown. Confident throw. Previous one I missed, but based on the crowd's groan, seemed to be a misfire by quarterback. That's from Robbie Sabo. Could have been a drop too, Sabo. Don't just throw Fields under the bus. Let's see. I'm seeing this here. Will Parkinson and our first two almost fights of the day. Trench guys getting into it. Dog days at camp. For Darian Mathis getting into it with some Giants players and back-to-back plays. I can't believe the words Fields throws to Ruckert for a touchdown were said, and it wasn't like 2020 we're saying this. Pretty good.
Exactly. What an honor. I mean, Jeremy Ruckert, I think, is a lock to make the roster. I have him on my 53 prediction for JetX. I wanted to not put him on so badly, but it's like I can't see them going into the year with just Smart and Taylor. Smart, who I think they view as just a big wide receiver, and Andrew Beck as the fullback on this team. Defensively, just seeing Jarius Monroe stop at the goal line, force the fumble on that stop as well. Jordan Clark pass breakup. So defense showing out. Football's back, baby. That's the bottom line, and I'm all here for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, couple calls left. Roster Dread is up next. What's up, Roster? Back-to-back days for the man who won a JJ jersey. What's up, man?
What's going on, brothers? How you guys doing today? How you guys doing?
What's up, Roster?
Doing well.
Not much, guys. Just, punching in the clock as I always do. Excuse the sound. But what I wanted to basically call in and ask about is, like, why is everybody so down on Brees? Like, it went from, I don't know, he's top five running back, and all of a sudden now it's like, third, and I'm just hearing all this craziness. It's like, guys, can we just give him an opportunity to get on the field first and play? Then give a result. Get your, give your analysis at that point. But it's like we haven't even gotten into the season yet, and we're already talking about trading Brees. Kind of sounds ridiculous to me. I don't know. It's just we're really a lot of people are really down on Brees. I'm not one of them. He is a dog. That boy is a dog. And once he gets the opportunity, especially if he's hearing all these Jet haters and Jet fans like down on him, he's just waiting for that opportunity. And not only that, he knows that he has Braylon Allen right behind him. So he's not going to allow Braylon Allen to just come and take the number one starting spot. That's what I believe. So Jet fans, please give it some time. Allow Brees to get on the field and really show what he can do, and not just a practice or two to say, oh, let's just get rid of him. We're too quick to get rid of someone that's very, very, very talented. So, guys, that's all I got to say. Great show. You guys have a good one. I'll be listening.
Appreciate you, Rasta.
Rasta, excellent call. And look, at the end of the day, we all don't have patience because we're fans, but you got to give this team some time, especially the offense, new system, a lot of new players there. You're mixing in some key rookies at key spots like right tackle and tight end. Everyone take a breath. And as far as Brees, he's on this team. He's an important weapon in the passing attack. He might be their second best receiver right now if we're just being objective. So, to me, without question, Brees Hall is a vital part of all this. And the idea that they're going to trade him, I'm not buying it for a second.
Most definitely. And he might get dealt at the deadline if this team's well below 500 and he's struggling, but let's not hope that we get there. Let's enjoy him while we have him. And let's not forget about 2023, folks. He's in a new offensive system with a new offensive coordinator, new surroundings, a mobile quarterback. I think it's going to be a big year for Brees Hall.
Hit the like button if you haven't already. Ladies and gentlemen, we go back to a man who has been on the show. His connection was terrible, so we'll try it one last time. Big Cho, how we doing?
Hey, what's going on? Sorry about that.
Cho.
That better now?
Much better, Big Cho. How are you?
I'm doing well. No, I was just saying about your show. I woke up early to listen, and I started trying to call in about 10 after 6, and I didn't get in until 9:15, and then I waited on hold until the show was over.
I didn't even see your name on the call screen.
Yeah, I was there at 9:15. The guy even came back and said, sorry, we couldn't get to you. So I thought that was nice.
That is nice. Yeah, there's no guarantees on radio, but if you call tomorrow, I'll try and say something to Dave during a commercial break. Hey, we got to take a call from Big Cho here.
That'll work. Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. When you do that, the New York shows, you know what I'm saying?
When I do radio?
Yeah, when you do the ESPN, and I like it better when you're by yourself.
Well, thank you, Big Cho.
Because I think it gets way off topic when you're not by yourself, and that's not your fault. I thought the other guy got off topic talking about, I don't know, he was talking about girls, talking about beards, mustaches.
Are you new to morning radio, Big Cho?
No, I mean,
have you seen what we talk about on this show, to be fair? Yesterday we said, would you sacrifice a guinea pig for the Jets to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, but you still get a lot of content in. And like when you're by yourself in New York on the ESPN, you get a lot of content in. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I appreciate it, Big Cho. I will be by myself a lot more at the end of August when I'm in for K for an entire week. So there you go.
All right. That'll work. Yeah, I was just trying to give you a compliment.
Well, thank you, Big Cho. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Big Cho, you have a great day, all right?
You guys do the same. Thanks for taking my call.
Anytime, ladies and gentlemen, Big Cho.
You get the fuck out.
Well done, Mr. Big Cho. All right, we got Gary in the hall. I want him to be the closer, though. So let's go back to V-Man and see if he has better connection. Then we got Ray and then Gary. What's up, V-Man?
What's up? Huh? Sorry, I was just adjusting the volume because I couldn't hear you. Can you hear me?
The Puerto Rican hat, of course.
Yeah, I was going to talk about because I didn't get to talk to you about the preseason game because one, I was just tired. I was literally tired after working, so I couldn't call in.
What did you think, V-Man? What stood out? We need some V-Man observations.
Well, what stood out to me was the turnovers.
The two the Jets forced.
Yeah, no, like thinking because if you remember, for as great as the Robert Saleh era was defensively, their big Achilles heel was their inability to get turnovers, especially when it came to fumbles. I don't remember the game, but maybe you do. But where they forced a fumble and they stared at it for like half a second before realizing, oh crap, we got to recover the fumble. And by that time,
fumble.
Do you remember that game?
It was like every single game they forced the fumble. That was the situation. So
it was like
what happened with the Quincy Williams when Quincy Williams absolutely ripped the head off of Kyler Murray. He didn't realize the ball was on the ground. He was doing a sack celebration, and Arizona fell on it. There were a lot of instances like that under.
Yeah, but what I loved about it was like you saw when both balls immediately hit the ground, they just pounced on it. It's like, and that's what I loved about it, and that's what I loved, and that's what I want to see, and that's one of the things I think we're going to get a lot from. Obviously, Aaron Glenn having his background in being a defensive back, his bread and butter, his whole career was getting turnovers. So he's going to put a preference on making sure that, and that's what you saw both times. The balls hit on the ground, they pounced, they went for it. There was no hesitation. They immediately saw the ball on the ground and they knew exactly what to do. And
it's a team mentality they need to have. They gotta. You're right, V man. They need to force turnovers. They need to be more opportunistic. If they get a ball, if they get a hand on a ball and it's batted in the air, guess what? They gotta have the awareness to come down with it. They force a strip sack, you got to recover it. The opportunities to get interceptions needs to be there if they're going to be a lot better.
Even if you're not sure, if the ball is actually a fumble or not, you grab the ball and you run.
That's all coaching. That's all aggressiveness, and I think that's something that Aaron Glenn is certainly instilled.
Yeah, and I also I love the fact that even though there were the penalties, we saw the moment those players were on the sideline, he gave them a tongue lashing. He's like, he didn't just pat them on the back and say, "Oh, better luck next time." He said, "No, you can't do that shit anymore." Like, I don't want to see that crap.
Hey, are you playing bridge or mahjong? JD wants to know.
We're not playing anything. If we were to play anything, we probably wouldn't be playing it. The last game my grandpa probably played ever, I think, was dominoes, and he would only play dominoes if you put money on the line.
What about a little gin rummy?
I've played that with him, but not that long ago.
You a bingo guy, V-Man?
No, I play rummy, I play spit, I'll play dominoes, and I'll play Uno.
You ever play Beastbreaker bingo?
No.
That's a lot of fun. You should try it. Here's what you got to be looking out for the next time he calls in, all right? Not that. This. All right? Take a look at the board.
All right, I'll take a screenshot of that later so I can remember it.
All right, call in if you ever get bingo, okay?
All right.
All right, you have a great day.
All right, say goodbye, senor. Adios.
Hector from Breaking Bad. Farewell. VPA. Julio. Julio. Yeah.
Did you hear him? Did you hear him?
I didn't hear any of that.
He said adios.
Adios, amigos. See, I know some Spanish.
There we go. I know some people as well.
There's a real rivalry brewing here between Big Cho and Georgie. Georgie wrote in during that show call. I'm just seeing this. No one wants to hear you on radio, chump. Strong.
No Big Show hate tolerated here, by the way.
Yeah, Georgie, what did Big Show do to you? My God. Shane says, I'm living in Houston. Where are Jet fans watching the games? Look into the Houston Jet fan club. If they're in the same location that they were when I lived in Houston for 6 years, then you'll be at, God, what's the name of the bar? I can't think of the name of the bar. I'm drawing a blank. Shane, do me a favor. DM me and I'll think of it after the show, or email me, Asman Jake. But look up Houston Jets fan club on Instagram and they'll have all the info there. Alexis is the founder. She's great. She's a diehard Jet fan. She'll be the one that you can get in touch with for any of the events they have for anyone who's living in H-Town and wants to watch the Jets. All right. Ray from Cali is up next. What's up, Ray?
Hey, how you doing, Jake?
What's up, Ray? How we doing?
I'm blessed. I was just calling to chime in about the game this weekend. I was going over. I looked at the game yesterday with no one around where I can go back and forth just to see some of the new players to see how they were. Definitely, I see the energy. I see the discipline. As far as the penalties, I can see the coaching is real. You can see the players knew when they messed up. They're like, no, he's tapping himself in the head, saying, "Yes, coach, I messed up." That when he jumped off sides, I see accountability happening, which is refreshing. Running back, I know I'm a Breeze fan. I can see that the coach is really favoring. Believe it or not, he's saying that he wants to use Brees to catch the ball and every out the backfield. He sees that. I think that that's also a sales pitch to show that he's a total back. That if push comes to shove, I really think that they might consider. It's a tough sell, but I do think that that number 40 guy, Edwards, made a nice little showing for himself. That if we doing running back by committee, and Brees, and we still can get something for Brees, maybe a receiver.
What are you getting, though, right? When do you ever see player-for-player trades? And what do you think Brees Hall going into a contract year coming up a down year is worth pick-wise?
It's good. I'm looking at maybe that McLaurin. McLaurin might want a lot of money, but I think that if he
never gonna happen. Ray, I love you, appreciate it. I don't even want to entertain it. It's not gonna happen. One, the Commanders aren't gonna trade him. Two, if they were to trade him, they would want picks, not a running back going into his contract here when their glaring need is not running back. They need Terry McLaurin. No one's gonna trade you a number 1 wide receiver for a running back. You never see that happen.
And he mentioned Donovan Edwards there. I want to touch on that. I like Donovan Edwards a lot. I think he's very explosive. I think anyone who can average 7 yards a carry at a Big Ten school like Michigan certainly has talent and has juice, but his reps were with the third team. There's no room for him on this team. I think the best case scenario, in my opinion, with Donovan Edwards is you build up his trade stock these 2 games, and you kind of do, Jake, what this team did with Brandon Codrington last year. And you're not able to keep him. You don't want to risk losing him on waivers while trying to get him onto the practice squad, and you ship him off to another team who needs a running back for a 6th or 7th round pick, for example. So at least you get something in return. But I've seen people say Donovan Edwards, running back 2 on this team. Guys, it's one preseason game against the Green Bay Packers, 3rd-team defense. Take a chill pill, folks.
Brees Hall is a focal point of their offense. I don't know why people don't understand this. It's wild to me. People want to just get rid of him. They say trade Brees. You ask who? Terry McLaurin? Really? If that deal existed, Ray, obviously we're all in on that. It's not real. That's not real. What's next? Someone's going to call in and say trade Brees straight up for Micah Parsons?
The only scenario where you could it would have to be a huge package where it would be Brees, a 2nd-round pick, a couple seconds, a couple day 3s for Eckler, McLaurin. Keep in mind, you also have to pay McLaurin. I don't even want to get too deep into it because it's not going to happen. The Parsons and McLaurin stuff, that pipe dream is dead, Jet fans.
All right, let's do one last call and then a raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, the best for last, or maybe the worst. Let's find out.
Pointing. Garrett Box, I'm pointing at you. Garrett Box, I point at you. Garrett Box, I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. Garrett Box, point at you. I point.
All right. Couple of things. First, a little bit of shock and outrage. You mentioned, was this a real John Mechie and a 3rd rounder?
Yes.
For Brees Hall?
Yes.
Who came up with that trade idea? Sean Mark?
I might have still started in the chat. No, I think. Is it still there? J.B. Allen, the Annihilator, said that. Here it is, right here on the screen. Can the Texans get Brees Hall for John Mechie, wide receiver, and a 3rd-round pick?
Why would we even? John Mechie's done nothing in the NFL. John Mechie wasn't even the number 1 receiver on the Bama team he was on. John Mechie and a 3rd?
I don't think you can even get that for Brees Hall, to be honest. I don't think the Texans would do that.
You don't think the Texans would do that trade?
I don't think any team would give a 3rd-round pick for Brees Hall. I think Brees Hall's value right now is a day 3 pick.
I'm totally. John Mechie has no value. I have no interest in John Mechie.
I want nothing to do with Mechie. I don't want to trade Brees, and I don't even think I can get a 3rd-round pick for Brees right now.
That's my point. That
is not tradable. That's insane. For Brees Hall?
We're making our team dramatically worse. I don't think people realize the value Brees is going to have in the passing.
Why is everyone this down on Brees Hall? No, I'm not trading Brees Hall.
Because they love Braylon Allen, and he's done nothing at the NFL level. But he looked good on an opening drive on Saturday. Ran through a hole that was wide open that anyone could have ran through. And all of a sudden, he's the second coming of Jesus Christ at running back.
He was a short. Oh, God.
Dang.
I like Braylon Allen. This is not the dunk on Braylon Allen. It's like, let's put respect on Breece Hall, who his first year was winning Rookie of the Year if he didn't get hurt. His second year off the ACL injury was second at his position in yards from scrimmage. He's a really good player at a bad season last year, like a lot of good players on the Jets did. I'm not giving up on him yet in a contract year when he's highly motivated and the scheme is built for him to have a lot of success.
No, I wouldn't make that trade because I'm not. Because in essence, I'm just trading him for a third rounder. He's got way more value than that. No, I'm out on that 100%. That trade is absurd to me. I'm not even entertaining that. And then, Con, I want to address something you said, and a lot of people say this. And you said, as long as Fields doesn't turn the ball over and he doesn't lose the games, and I'm so sick of this. Right? Like, no, we need more than that. He is an all-world athlete. He's one of the best athletes that's ever played the position. I don't want a guy that manages the game. I want a guy that makes plays and wins games. He's 25.
What if he's not that guy, though?
Yeah, that's what I want.
An all-world athlete with all-world ability entering his physical prime. I don't want. He's not 42 years old. He's not a backup quarterback who gets to start. This is his shot. Like, if he wants to prove he's a starting quarterback, this is it for him. Like,
I want him to be a franchise guy. What I said is, for this team, this offense to succeed, and for this team to win 8 games with as talented as a defense that they have, he doesn't need to be Superman. If he is able to minimize mistakes, optimize his capability in this offense, this team will win games. I didn't say I want him to do that. I didn't say I expect him to do that. I said that's what he needs to do.
Gary, you're asking him to be Lamar Jackson or Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts.
He doesn't need to be that guy this year. That's what people struggle to understand. Like, would it be great to see that? Absolutely. I'm a huge Justin Fields fan myself, but
what talent isn't there though, right? Like, it's there. Like, I don't look. I get what you're saying. If he cannot lose the game, we can be okay. I get it, but like, I think he's capable of more than that. Like,
I never said he wasn't. I never said he wasn't. All I said is that's what he needs to do for this team to win games. I think Justin Fields could be a top 15 quarterback in this league. I am one of the biggest Justin Fields fans out there. I think he's able to have a Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith type resurgence. I'm not saying he's Lamar Jackson, but I mean, what was the biggest concern with Lamar Jackson before he became the 2-time MVP we know him as now? Accuracy. That's been the biggest concern with Justin Fields. If he's able to improve, I think we're talking about in 2 years, if he's able to improve his accuracy and even out to a consistent level, we're talking about a top 10 quarterback in this league in a few years.
If you look at him coming out of college, Jackson was better, but there wasn't, like, if you look at what Justin Fields did in a year and a half of college and what Jaden Daniels did in his last year, it's not that much different. Like, he's that talented. He was that good. Like, it hasn't gotten there and it hasn't been consistent. But, like, I don't want to put training wheels on Justin Fields like you did with Zach Wilson when he came in for Rodgers and say, okay, just don't blow everything. I think he's capable of so much more than that. Right?
I think they're going to
let him look.
That's what they've said. They're going to let him play quarterback. They think he could break out. I just think if you're expecting him to be a superstar, that's unfair to him. Let's hope he can be competent. And if he gives you more than that, this team might be a lot better than the 7 wins that most people think is like their ceiling.
That's the point that I'm making.
All right, that's fine. It's fair for 2 reasons. A, because he's never been a superstar in the league. He's never even been really an above-average quarterback. That's one. And
he's never really been an average quarterback either. Like, let's be
the second year at Chicago, guys. The second year at Chicago, he was good. That's why they traded the number 1 pick in the draft. And he's not making superstar money, right? So he's never been a superstar. He's not making superstar money. So why would he be a superstar? Because he's got superstar ability. Like, that's why he's the number 1 player in high school, right? That's why he was drafted in the top 10. That's why he was phenomenal at Ohio State. Like, there's a lot there. This is, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much talent and so much ability in him. If he just doesn't blow the game and he runs for 15.
Hey, do you consider yourself a philosopher of stupidity? That's what Rebecca thinks of you.
It's a good thing I don't listen to women.
Whoa! Hey now, family show, Gary.
It's a good thing I don't listen to women.
Rejected. Sorry.
All right. Thank you, Gary. We're doing the end of the show anyway. I do want to carry Aaron Glenn. I had no idea Gator was even watching, but because Gator's the man, he has prepared Aaron Glenn at the podium for us. So first, let's acknowledge Sam Super Chat, Breece, an all-purpose back, Braylon volume runner. Guessing Jet fans don't watch a lot of college football. I like both players. I just think people got to cool it with the Breece slander. Let's relax. And let's remember how good he was. A year ago, you couldn't wait to draft him first overall in your fantasy league. Come on, calm down. I like Braylon too. I like Isaiah Davis. There's a role for all these guys. They want to lead the NFL in rushing. So relax.
And running back by committee, in my opinion, Jake, is actually going to benefit Breece Hall and put him in more efficient scenarios to maximize his opportunity and his ability. So I think the fact that they're going to go with a three-headed backfield is actually going to benefit Hall.
All right, let's listen in. Aaron Glenn moments ago at the podium for the first time after the Jets-Giant joint practice today ended.
All right, good afternoon. I really like having these joint practices because it breaks up the, monotony of going against each other on a daily basis and really going against a pretty good team that's talented. Obviously, they have some guys that was out that we didn't get a chance to challenge against, which I hope we would have, especially a receiver against our DBs. But for the most part, this is a talented team, a very talented team. When it comes to the injury front, Brady got stepped on his ankle. I think he'll be just fine. We'll see about that when I go back inside. I didn't get a chance to see much on the defensive side because I was with the offense for the most part, and I thought we had an up and down day. There were some things that in the passing game I thought we did well, but there were some things that we didn't do well, and then that's part of practice going against a good team and a really good front. Also, they win against. So I'm looking forward to seeing the tape. I'm looking forward to getting to meetings with the players and see exactly what we need to improve on. But man, I love these practices, and the good thing was, man, it was true improvement on both sides for both teams because there wasn't a lot of riffraff going on, and I expected that from another coach, Dayball. All right, so we're really from the same tree as far as coaches that we've been under for the most part. So I expected that. So looking forward to tomorrow's practice.
You're watching Glenn.
You know what? I thought it was up and down. I really did. I thought there were some times we protected real well, but there were some times we got beat too. They have some really good players on that side of the ball. And that's the good thing about going against that team. And it's good for offense too, to be able to see that, because you don't go against the front like that on an everyday basis, and every week basis for the most part. For us to get a chance to actually get tested by those guys, I thought was good. But again, I thought, we were jockeying for position for the most part. They got their wins, we got our wins. And I can't wait to look at the tape and really see exactly what happened so I can nail that down.
How do you feel Justin handled the pass rush?
Say it again?
The pass rush. How do you feel like Justin?
I mean, it's the same. When I said that statement before, I was just saying overall as an offense, one thing we got to do is when we see the guy, let's get it out. Then there's other times, I want him to use his legs like he did. So it's kind of hard to really say that, especially when you haven't just really evaluated the tape just yet. But just from the naked eye, I thought it was a little bit of both, man. Sometimes you got to get it out, but there's also times I like the way he uses his legs.
I don't think he was ever going to get to you guys in the draft, but just what were your thoughts of Abdul Carter coming out from Penn State when you guys evaluated him?
Grown man. He's a grown man. So nothing that out of the ordinary. We all know that, so he didn't shock anybody by some of the things that he can do individually and how they utilize him as far as, trying to get him in one-on-one matchups. So he's a damn good player. We all know that. He's going to be able to make some plays in this league. But again, he's a good player.
Can you give us updates on previously injured guys like Lazard and Tyron?
Yeah.
Injury update.
So Tyra had a procedure, which we all know. He's still going through his protocol as far as his rehab. So we'll see exactly where he is in the next couple of weeks. I don't think he'll be playing in the preseason, but hopefully he'll be ready for week 1. Lazard has a shoulder. I think it's about 2 weeks for him. So we'll see where his situation is going into week 1.
So did Tyron just get I'm guessing a scope?
Just minus scope. Yep.
What do you make of Mason Taylor today? Obviously, first day back off the ankle.
Will Parkinson question, folks.
I'll tell you what. I don't know if you guys saw the 7 route that he caught. I think it was outstanding the way that he was able to reach and maneuver his feet, to stay and bounce on that play. But it's the things I expect from him in the passing game. It's nothing new for that player. The thing is, he's got to make sure that he comes along at the right pace, so we don't re-injure that ankle again. But he's a fighter, and he wants to be out there. We're gonna do everything we can to protect him the right way, but also let him go out there and get his work in. So I thought he had a hell of a day.
For Membo to get a chance
Mason
to go
Taylor
against these different pass rushers they all have different skill sets too.
Listen, I think it's good for our whole O-line, because again, they're a talented front, and for all those guys to get a chance to go against somebody new with different skill sets is always good. So to get a chance to go back and look at the tape and then do it again the next day, I think our guys will end up, watching it and being better on the next day too.
What's your impression of Dayball? How much did you know him before? And
can
you talk a little bit about what the stuff you guys worked on before you got here?
I've been knowing Dayball for a while. And I said it before, we're from the same tree for the most part. When you just go back and look at his history of coaches he's been with and the coaches I've been with, and I won't go too much into that, but there's a lot of things we see it the same, we think the same. And listen, we're both in this area of New York where it's tough, and there's a number of things that we got to battle when we talk about that, but I don't think there's a better man for the job, for the Giants, and I think he's going to do a good job there, so good friend of mine, good person. At the combine, we hang together quite a bit. But again, he's just a good dude.
Now that Ray Johnson's been activated on PUP, what's the plan for him just moving forward?
The same plan that we talked about before. We have a plan for him, and when it's time for him to be on the field, he'll be there.
Who stood out to you on defense other than the usual suspect sauce?
Well, I wasn't over there, so I don't know that yet.
What's the update on Quentin? I saw him on the side.
Same as the other injured guys. We have a protocol for him, and he'll be ready when it's time.
We've talked a lot about Braylon and how big he is, how
Yep.
physical he is. I don't know if you're there. We've made a pretty impressive catch with Will Route in 7-on-7 drills. Can you speak a little bit about his versatility? He's not just big and physical. He's got some speed.
No doubt. And that's really for all of our backs, because all of our backs at 225 plus. And not only are they good downhill runners, but they also, help us in the passing game too. I actually saw Brees. Brees made a number of catches in the 7-on-7. Where he was able to lose some guys and get open and make some plays. So I'm not surprised at that. I know that's one thing that we talk about with him because he's 240 pounds, about him being a downhill runner. But there's a number of things that he can do. And we're going to utilize all those guys to what they do well. All right. And then also surprising people some of the things that they don't think they do well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Getting like a touchdown by Justin.
Yeah.
Isaiah Davis runs a route and he sells it. Holds up his hands, cut the DB out. When you're watching the film, does that jump out to you as just kind of an example of this football IQ?
It's the things that we talk about being smart. And I said it from the beginning, the type of players that we want on our team are smart, tough, aggressive, and resilient. So it doesn't surprise me at all. I'm not saying that we talk about it in totality, but, he just made a smart play. And those type of players want a team. So it doesn't surprise me.
Didn't say anything about Justin that he had a string of periods there where he wasn't really going his way, sacks and completions. The pass rush was getting after him. But the final play that he throws at practice is that sidearm back of the end zone. It was is it just to unfaced, like he didn't let anything really bother.
Well, it seems like I keep telling you guys the same thing every day about who he is. He's a mature man, and the outside noise does not bother him. And I don't know how many times I got to say this, but it's not going to change with him. He's going to continue to get better and better and better, and not allow anything on the outside to bother him, and just do his job and keep improving. And those are like really some of the traits that I liked about him. That he's just unfazed and he's always here, So it didn't surprise me that he did it because that's just who he is. So I expect that from him all the time.
Last one right here, Ian. Last one. When you were hired in January, you said a part of your motivation in leading this franchise was the way the '98 season ended.
Yeah.
I was wondering how much of that thought or memory do you bring to work every day? Is that still a part of it?
There are so many things that I bring to work every day. And it really, when I get up in the morning, that motivate me to go out and be the best. Number one, I was hired to do a job, and that's what I'm expected to do, And then what I feel about this organization, which I've already stated several times, that's another motivation for me also. And then some of the things that happened when I was a player that I just don't forget, like the '98 season. That's also motivation. So there's a number of things that I think about every morning that get me excited about being a part of this job. And plus, I just love what the hell I do. So it's not hard for me, to come here every day with a smile on my face, ready to work, because I just love coaching football. And I love being around players. I love being around the coaches. So this is the best job in the world for me. And like every day I'm living my dream. So that's what it is.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh, yeah. What a presser. Great job, Ian O'Connor. Shout out to him. I'm pretty sure that was his voice asking that question. An athletic column is coming from Ian. Something related to Glenn and Parcells, 98 and all that. Little read through the tea leaves there with that question. Some things that stood out.
Quote, Mason Taylor, hell of a day. Like hearing that. He's a huge part of their offense. Let's face it. They need him. We talked about the lack of weapons. He could be a legit weapon if healthy. Maybe he's not Sam Laporta. He probably won't be Brock Bowers. But if he's pretty good, that goes a long way towards the Jets being a lot better than many expect. I liked hearing that Glenn was with the offense today. I'm sure he'll be with the defense tomorrow. Maybe he did offense today, defense tomorrow for these joint practices. But nice to have a head coach who is able to coach the offensive side of the ball, even if he's a defensive-minded guy. And the other takeaway that I had, Connor, the Lazard injury, about 2 weeks he'll be down. So this is not something that's going to affect his week 1 status. I think Lazard's definitely making this team. And then the injury to Tyrod, interesting. He's probably not going to play in the preseason. Hopefully he's healthy for week 1. Brady Cook rolled his ankle. They thought it was serious. Glenn said it's not serious. So it does feel like they dodged the bullet there, because if you didn't have Tyrod and you weren't sure if he's available for week 1, and if Cook went down, then you might have to add another quarterback, because then you just would have Fields and Martinez. You need to be able to get through these preseason games coming up here. So that's what I got from the Glenn presser. What stood out to you? And maybe I stole a couple of your answers, which is okay.
All good. The injury updates were the biggest thing for me. When I saw the tweet about the Brady Cook injury, people thought it was serious. And the Tyrod injury, my initial thought, Jake, trade for Jameis Winston. That was the first thought that came to my head. There's no room for him right now with the Giants organization. And he's someone the Jets could give a couple late-round picks to trade for. He wouldn't have to shift his whole lifestyle. He just arrived in New York. He'd be a fun backup option for this team. I'm happy to hear the Cook injury isn't serious. That was probably my biggest takeaway, because you would have had to add either a UDFA camp arm, someone who's still somehow on the open market, or add a Carson Wentz, or trade for a Jameis Winston, like I said. So good to hear that's a positive. And no, Alan Lazard pretty much secures, in my opinion, like you said there, his roster spot on this team, his status as to the Jets not rushing him back, and he's pretty much a roster lock at this point. Those were probably my two main takeaways. And yeah, it's gonna be an intriguing next few weeks here as the Jets begin to narrow the roster down from 90 to 53 guys.
We will have more this afternoon on what happened at practice. Fields began the day hot in 11 on 11s and went 5 for 5. Then had a stretch where he was 0 for 4 and sacked a few times before closing the day 2 out of 3 with a touchdown to Jeremy Ruckert in the red zone. Overall, uneven practice. Giants pass rush giving Jets problems. Overall, defenses ruled the day for both teams in the joint practice. All right, Connor, it is time for the Asmaniac raffle. No video. Let's just get right to it. The Wheel of Champions is up on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck to everyone who entered. Only one can win a Garrett Wilson t-shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't win, but you want one anyway, just go to jakeasman.com.
There we go.
And buy your t-shirt there. Here we go. Good luck. If you win, email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, and tell me what size you want it in. Here we go. The winner of the G5 shirt is listener Uno Jets. How about that? He won a Justin Fields jersey last week, and now his teammate at Ohio State, Garrett Wilson. Congratulations to Uno. Uno, shoot me an email anyway, because I forget what your actual name is. I know it's not Uno Jets, but I appreciate you supporting the show. For anyone who wants the t-shirt we just gave away, these are brand new inside my merch store. Just go to jakeasman.com/shop, and you have a chance to purchase it there. Connor, excellent job filling in for the first hour. You good to do it again tomorrow at 10, and then I'll join you in progress?
You already know, Jake. Of course. Shout out to you guys, Asmaniacs in the chat. Love you all. Jake, you're the best, man. Thank you for the opportunity, as always, and always great to share the panel with you and talk some Jets.
NY Flight Jets Talk is Connor's channel. You can see his articles on Jets X Factor. Kid's a star. He did a great job this morning. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge this one last super chat, then I'm going to end the show. Meow says, Bears didn't do right by Fields. Pittsburgh didn't do right by him. I think Pittsburgh put him in a decent spot. I mean, he did go 4-2. Look, I get it. We could be optimistic about Fields. I think this is the best O-line he's ever played with. I'm concerned about some of the weapons, but I like the coaching so far. Engstrain's encouraging. Time will tell. Ultimately, if it doesn't work out, they're going to end up drafting someone anyway, so we shall see. Again, thank you to Connor. Thank you to everyone. We're back with Sabo this afternoon. We'll do plenty of calls, get Robbie's take from being on site on what went down today. So I'm looking forward to that. Thanks again to everyone who listened to me on the radio this morning. I'm doing the morning show again from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. In for Rick DiPietro, so that should be fun. So more coming up this afternoon. Before I get out of here, reminder, buy your watch party ticket. It's only $18 on Friday. It goes from 18 to 23. So lock in your spot. Click the link in the description, and we'll see you at T-Squared Social for the Jets and the Giants this upcoming Saturday night. Let's go, baby. See you there.
I'm Beastbreaker, and I love Harry Potter. I'm a magical fart wizard. Abracadabra, bitches. I'm gonna blast ass in my diaper. Get me a bag of dicks. Get me a bag of dicks. Get me a bag of dicks. Bag of dicks. Bag of dicks. Bag of dicks. Bag of dicks.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.